Binge-worthy TV shows.
What shows are you currently binge-watching?
I'm completely hooked on Severance right now. Have you seen it?
I've heard good things. What's it about?
It's a psychological thriller about employees who undergo a procedure to separate their work and personal memories.
Sounds intense. I just finished The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, that's a good one. I enjoyed that one too. What's next on your list?
I'm thinking of starting Succession.
Documentaries versus fictional films. Do you prefer watching documentaries or fictional films?
It depends on what I'm in the mood for, but I think I lean towards documentaries. I like learning something new.
I can see that. I enjoy fictional films because they can transport you to another world.
True, a good story can be really captivating, but I also appreciate the realness of documentaries.
Have you seen any good documentaries recently?
I watched one about the history of space exploration that was fascinating.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out.
Favorite concert experiences.
Have you been to any good concerts lately?
Actually, yes! I saw Arcade Fire last month. It was incredible.
Oh wow, I'm jealous. What made it so great?
The energy was amazing, and they played all my favorite songs. Plus, the light show was insane.
Sounds epic. My best concert experience was probably seeing Radiohead back in 2003.
Radiohead? That's a bucket list band for me. Where did you see them?
At a small venue in London. It was unforgettable. Favorite music genres.
What kind of music are you into?
I'm a big fan of indie rock, bands like The Strokes and Arctic Monkeys.
Nice! I like those bands too. I'm more of a hip-hop and R&B person myself.
Any specific artists you're listening to right now?
Kendrick Lamar is always on repeat for me, and I've been getting into SZA lately.
SZA is great. I appreciate good lyrics, and she delivers.
Totally agree.
Guilty pleasure music.
Okay, spill. What's your guilty pleasure song?
Oh man, don't judge me, but I still blast ABBA sometimes.
ABBA. Classic. No judgment here. Mine's probably something by the Spice Girls.
Spice Girls, I can get behind that. Which song is your go-to?
Wannabe, obviously. It's an instant mood booster.
Haha, fair enough. It's catchy.
Live theater versus movies.
Do you prefer going to the theater or watching movies?
That's a tough one. They both have their merits. I love the energy of live theater.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like seeing a performance unfold right in front of you.
But movies offer a different kind of immersion, with special effects and close-ups.
True, and movies are often more accessible, both in terms of location and price.
I guess it depends on my mood. For a big spectacle, I'd choose a movie. For something more intimate, theater.
That's a good way to put it.
Have you seen anything good on stage lately?
Music festival experiences.
Have you ever been to a music festival?
Yeah, I went to Coachella a few years ago. It was an experience.
Coachella, wow, I've always wanted to go. What was the best part?
Seeing all my favorite bands in one place, definitely. But also the atmosphere and the art installations.
Sounds amazing. I went to a smaller festival last summer. It was a lot of fun, but very muddy.
Muddy festivals can be a challenge. Did it rain a lot?
Non-stop, but we made the best of it. Podcasts you recommend.
Got any good podcast recommendations? Yeah. Have you listened to Stuff You Should Know? I've heard of it, but never actually listened. What's it about? They cover all sorts of random topics, from the history of pizza to how the stock market works. Sounds interesting. I listened to a true crime one called Crime Junkie. Oh, I've heard of that one too. Maybe I'll give it a listen. Definitely worth checking out if you like that genre.
The evolution of streaming services.
It's crazy how much streaming services have changed the entertainment landscape, isn't it?
Absolutely. Remember having to buy CDs or rent DVDs?
Oh yeah, Blockbuster was the Friday night ritual.
Now, everything is just at our fingertips. It's convenient, but I kind of miss the physical media.
I agree. There was something special about owning a physical album or movie.
And the discovery, browsing a record store and finding something new.
Exactly. Now algorithms just tell us what to listen to. Upcoming movie releases.
Are there any movies coming out that you're excited about?
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to the new Wes Anderson film.
Oh, which one? He always has such a distinct style.
It's called Asteroid City. The trailer looks amazing.
I'll have to check that out. I'm keen on the new Marvel movie, despite the mixed reviews on recent ones.
Which one is it?
The Marvels. I like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
Concert etiquette pet peeves.
I went to a concert last night, and someone spent the whole time filming on their phone. So annoying.
Oh, I hate that, blocking everyone's view. It's like they're not even experiencing the show.
Exactly. And the bright screen is distracting. What are some of your concert pet peeves?
Loud talkers, especially during quiet songs. Why even bother coming if you're just going to chat?
Oh yes, or people pushing and shoving to get closer to the stage. It's not worth it.
I agree. I also dislike when people sing along off-key at the top of their lungs. A little singing is fine, but
Totally. There's a line between enthusiasm and just being disruptive. It's all about being respectful of others.
definitely. Concerts should be a shared experience, not a personal karaoke session.
Hidden gems on streaming platforms. I'm looking for something new to watch. Any recommendations for hidden gems on streaming?
Have you seen Detectorists on BBC iPlayer? It's a really charming comedy about metal detecting.
No, I haven't. That sounds interesting. What's it like?
It's slow-paced and quirky, but the characters are so well developed, and the humor is subtle and clever.
I like that. Anything else?
On Netflix, there's a limited series called Maniac that's really trippy and thought-provoking.
Okay, I'll add that to my list. I'm always looking for something a little different.
Then you'll probably enjoy Maniac. Let me know what you think if you watch it.
Movie tropes we're tired of.
I'm so tired of the damsel in distress trope in movies. Can't women be the heroes for once?
Definitely. And the quote misunderstanding that could be solved with a 5-minute conversation trope in rom-coms.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's so frustrating. What other tropes drive you crazy?
The unnecessary slow-motion shot in action movies. It's just filler.
Agreed. And the character who sacrifices themselves for the greater good. It's so predictable.
It can be effective, but it's overused. How about the nerdy character who suddenly becomes attractive after a makeover?
Ugh, that's the worst. It reinforces harmful stereotypes. We need more originality in storytelling.
Absolutely. Let's hope filmmakers start getting more creative. The art of character development in TV.
Which TV show do you think has the best character development?
For me, it's Breaking Bad. Watching Walter White's transformation was incredible, even if it was disturbing.
Definitely. He went from meek to monstrous. What about a show with more positive character growth?
Maybe Parks and Recreation. Leslie Knope's unwavering optimism was inspiring, and she helped the other characters grow too.
Good choice. I also think The Good Place had amazing character arcs. Everyone evolved so much.
Yes, that show was so clever and heartwarming, it really made you think about what it means to be a good person.
What makes for good character development, in your opinion?
Consistency, but also the ability to surprise the audience. Characters should have flaws and motivations that make them relatable.
The evolution of movie special effects. It's amazing how far special effects in movies have come, isn't it?
Absolutely. Remember the early days of stop-motion animation? It was so charming, but also kind of clunky.
Yeah, Ray Harryhausen was a master of that. What was the first movie with really impressive special effects that you saw?
Probably Jurassic Park. The dinosaurs looked so real at the time. It was mind-blowing.
Definitely a milestone. Now, CGI is so seamless that it's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
That's true. But sometimes I miss the practical effects. They had a certain physicality that CGI can't always replicate.
I agree. There's something about seeing a real explosion or a practical monster that feels more visceral.
Hopefully, filmmakers will find a good balance between CGI and practical effects in the future.
The future of gaming, VR and beyond.
Do you think VR gaming will ever truly take off?
I hope so. The potential is huge, but the technology still needs to improve. The headsets are still clunky and expensive.
True. But imagine fully immersive gaming experiences. It could revolutionize the industry.
Definitely. What about augmented reality gaming? That could be even more accessible.
AR is interesting, but I think VR offers a more complete escape. What other gaming trends are you excited about?
Cloud gaming. Being able to play high-end games on any device without needing a powerful console is amazing.
Yeah, that's a game changer. It opens up gaming to a wider audience.
Latest music tech innovations.
Have you seen what's new in music tech? AI composing is getting pretty wild. It's interesting, but also a little concerning. What about the human element? True, but think of the possibilities. Tools to help musicians create in ways they never could before. Like what? Give me an example. I can generate harmonies or suggest melodies based on what you're playing. Instant inspiration. I guess that could be useful for overcoming writer's block. Still feels a bit like cheating, though. Maybe, but every new technology feels that way at first. Remember synthesizers? Good point. I suppose we'll see where it goes.
The most influential music videos.
What music video do you think had the biggest impact on the industry?
Michael Jackson's Thriller, definitely. The production value, the storytelling, it changed everything.
Absolutely. It was like a mini movie. What about something more recent?
Beyoncé's Lemonade visual album was a game changer. It was so artistic and personal.
True. The visuals were stunning, and it was a powerful statement. Any others that come to mind?
Maybe OK Goes Here It Goes Again with the Treadmills. It was so simple, but incredibly creative and memorable.
Oh, yeah. That one went viral before going viral was even a thing. It showed the power of a good concept.
The power of nostalgic TV reboots.
They're rebooting another one of my favorite shows from the 90s. Are you excited or apprehensive?
It's always a gamble, isn't it? Sometimes they capture the magic, other times they completely miss the mark.
Exactly. I think the key is to respect the original while also bringing something new to the table.
I agree, and not just rely on nostalgia alone. The writing has to be good, and the characters have to be compelling.
What reboots have you enjoyed recently?
I actually liked the One Day at a Time reboot. It kept the heart of the original, but tackled modern issues.
Oh, I heard good things about that one. I'll have to check it out. What about the ones that disappointed you?
I won't name names, but there have been a few where they just tried too hard to be edgy or different, and it felt forced. The underrated genius of one-season wonders.
Have you ever watched a TV show that was brilliant, but only lasted one season?
Oh, definitely. Freaks and Geeks is a classic example. It was so relatable and funny.
Yes, and it launched so many careers. What about more recently?
I really enjoyed Terriers. It was a detective show with great characters and a unique tone, but it was canceled too soon.
I haven't heard of that one. I'll have to check it out. Why do you think some shows get canceled despite being good?
Sometimes it's low ratings, sometimes it's network politics, sometimes it's just bad luck. It's a shame.
It is. It's like losing a friend when a show you love gets canceled. Do you think these shows deserve a revival?
Some of them, definitely. Especially if there's a clear story to tell. But sometimes it's best to leave them as they are, a perfect little gem.
Concert memories. The good, the bad, and the unexpected.
I'm going to see my favorite band next month, and it got me thinking about some of the craziest concert experiences I've had.
Oh, tell me! I've had some pretty wild ones myself. What's the most memorable concert you've ever been to?
Probably when I saw Radiohead. The music was incredible, but it started pouring rain halfway through the set. Everyone was soaked, but no one left.
Wow, that sounds intense. I saw Beyoncé once, and the energy in the stadium was electric, but someone threw a shoe on stage.
A shoe? That's bizarre. Did she react?
She just gave a slight smirk and kept singing. Total professional. What's the worst concert experience you've had?
I went to see a band I loved, but the sound was terrible. You couldn't hear the vocals at all. It was so disappointing.
Ugh, that's the worst. It's so frustrating when technical issues ruin a performance. Discovering new TV shows through word of mouth.
Have you seen Severance on Apple TV+? I've heard so many good things about it.
No, I haven't. What's it about? I'm always looking for a new show to get into.
It's a sci-fi thriller about a company that severs their employees' memories between their work and personal lives. It's supposed to be really mind-bending.
Wow, that sounds intriguing. I'm a sucker for a good sci-fi thriller. Is it a slow burn, or does it grab you right away?
I think it's a bit of both. It starts off mysterious and slowly unravels. People are saying it's really well written and acted.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'll add it to my watch list. Thanks for the recommendation.
No problem. Let me know what you think when you've watched a few episodes.
Music and travel.
I'm planning a trip to Spain next month. I'm thinking of making a playlist of Spanish music to listen to while I'm there. Any recommendations?
Definitely. Flamenco is a must, but also check out some modern Spanish pop. Rosalia is super popular right now, and her music has a cool, modern take on traditional sounds.
Rosalia. Got it. I'll add her to the list. Do you think listening to local music enhances the travel experience?
Absolutely. It helps you connect with the culture on a deeper level. It's like a soundtrack to your memories.
That's a great way to put it. I'll also try to find some local concerts or performances while I'm there.
Perfect. Immersing yourself in the live music scene is even better. You'll discover hidden gems you wouldn't find otherwise.
I'm excited now. Thanks for the tips. I'll let you know what I discover.
The allure of mystery films.
I'm in the mood for a good mystery film, something with lots of twists and turns.
Oh, I love a good mystery. What kind of mysteries do you prefer? Classic whodunits, or something more psychological?
I enjoy both, but I think I lean towards the psychological ones, the ones that really mess with your head.
Have you seen The Sixth Sense? That's a classic example of a mind-bending mystery.
Of course, that twist at the end was unforgettable. I'm looking for something a bit more recent, though.
Okay, how about Knives Out? It's a modern whodunit with a great cast and a clever plot.
I've heard good things about that one. I'll definitely check it out. What is it about mystery films that you find so appealing?
I think it's the challenge of trying to figure out the puzzle before the characters do, and the satisfaction of being surprised by the reveal.
The appeal of cover bands.
There's a cover band playing at the pub tonight, a tribute to Queen. Are you interested in going? Cover bands. I'm always a bit skeptical. Do they really capture the essence of the original? I get that, but some are surprisingly good. It's a fun way to experience familiar music in a live setting without the huge concert price tag. True, the price is definitely a factor, and if they're good, it could be a great sing-along experience. Exactly. Plus, sometimes they bring their own spin to the songs, which can be interesting. Okay, you've almost convinced me. As long as they don't butcher Bohemian Rhapsody, I'm in. Deal! Let's hope they do it justice. It'll be a fun night either way. All right, Queen cover band it is.
The art of film scores. I was watching a movie the other day, and the score was just phenomenal. It completely elevated the experience.
I totally agree. A good film score can make or break a movie. It sets the mood and enhances the emotional impact.
It's amazing how it can subtly guide your emotions without you even realizing it.
Exactly. Think about the Jaws theme. Just a few notes, and you're instantly terrified.
Oh, definitely. Or the soaring strings in Gladiator. It's so epic.
Hans Zimmer is a genius. Do you have a favorite film composer?
Probably John Williams. His scores are iconic and timeless. What about you?
I'm a big fan of Ennio Morricone. His work on the spaghetti westerns is just incredible.
The enduring popularity of game shows. I still love watching game shows. There's something so comforting about them.
Me too. They're like a guilty pleasure. Even though they're often cheesy, they're also surprisingly engaging.
I think it's the combination of trivia, competition, and the chance to win big. It's a simple formula that works.
Definitely. And there's something satisfying about knowing the answer to a question, even if you're just shouting it at the TV.
Exactly. Do you have a favorite game show?
I've always been a fan of Jeopardy! The intellectual aspect is appealing.
Good choice. I like Wheel of Fortune. It's so simple, but I get completely hooked.
Yeah, that one's addictive. It's the thrill of the spin, I think.
The evolution of stand-up comedy.
Have you noticed how stand-up comedy has changed over the years? It seems like there's a lot more personal and vulnerable material now. Yeah, definitely. It's not just about telling jokes anymore. Comedians are using their platforms to talk about their experiences and perspectives on life. I think social media has played a big role in that. Comedians can connect with their audiences on a more personal level and address current events in real time. That's a good point. And the rise of streaming services has given comedians more opportunities to release specials and reach wider audiences. It's also become more diverse, with more women and people of color breaking into the mainstream. Absolutely. There's a wider range of voices and perspectives being represented now, which is great. Do you think the increased focus on social commentary is a positive or negative thing for comedy? I think it's mostly positive. It can be a powerful way to raise awareness and spark conversations, but it's important to still be funny.
The influence of video games on film.
With all these video game adaptations coming out, do you think video games are having a bigger influence on filmmaking?
Absolutely. The visual storytelling in games has become so sophisticated, it's naturally influencing directors and cinematographers.
I've noticed more action sequences borrowing camera angles and pacing from games. It's like watching a playable movie.
And the narrative structures are becoming more complex, drawing inspiration from RPGs and adventure games.
It's a two-way street, though. Games are also influenced by film. Look at the cinematic cutscenes and the use of motion capture.
That's true. It's becoming harder to distinguish between the two mediums in some ways.
Do you think this blending is a good thing?
I think it can be, as long as filmmakers understand what makes a good game adaptation and don't just try to copy the plot verbatim. The role of music in advertising.
Have you ever noticed how much music influences your perception of a product in an advertisement?
Definitely. A catchy jingle or a well-chosen song can make an ad so much more memorable and appealing.
It's crazy how a song can instantly create a certain mood or associate a product with a particular lifestyle.
Exactly. Think about those ads that use classic rock songs to evoke a sense of nostalgia and connect with older audiences.
Or the upbeat pop songs that are used to target younger demographics. It's all very strategic.
It's a powerful tool. A bad choice of music can completely ruin an ad, even if the visuals are great.
True, it's an art form in itself. Choosing the right music is crucial for creating a successful ad campaign.
Analyzing album art.
Have you ever noticed how much thought goes into album artwork?
Definitely. Some covers are iconic in themselves, like Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon.
Exactly. Or even something more modern, like Billie Eilish's When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? So visually striking.
It really sets the tone for the music, doesn't it? A good cover can make you want to listen even if you've never heard of the artist.
Absolutely. And sometimes the artwork is almost as important as the songs themselves in building the artist's image.
I wonder how much input the artists have in the design process. Probably varies a lot.
I imagine so. Some probably have very specific visions, while others leave it entirely to the designers.
It's a whole art form in itself, really. Underappreciated, I think.
The allure of true crime entertainment.
Why do you think true crime entertainment is so popular right now?
I think it's a combination of things. People are fascinated by the darker side of human nature, and true crime offers a glimpse into that.
And there's the puzzle-solving aspect, trying to figure out what happened and why.
Definitely. Plus, some true crime shows and podcasts are really well produced, with compelling storytelling and in-depth investigations.
But there's also a potential ethical issue, right? Exploiting real-life tragedies for entertainment.
That's a valid concern. It's important to be mindful of the victims and their families when consuming true crime content.
I agree. It's a fine line between being fascinated and being disrespectful.
It's something to think about, for sure.
The best decade for TV. What do you think was the best decade for television? I'm leaning towards the 90s.
Oh, interesting. I was thinking the 2000s, with the rise of prestige dramas like The Sopranos and The Wire.
True, those were groundbreaking. But the 90s had so many iconic sitcoms, and the beginning of serialized dramas becoming popular.
That's a fair point. Friends, Seinfeld, they were huge. Maybe it depends on what you're looking for in a show.
Exactly. I think the 90s were great for comfort TV, whereas the 2000s pushed boundaries more.
And now we're in the age of streaming, which has changed everything again. Hard to compare across eras.
Definitely. But those old shows still hold up. I can rewatch them anytime. The future of concert experiences.
How do you think concert experiences will evolve in the future?
I think we'll see more integration of technology, like augmented reality and interactive elements.
Imagine wearing a headset that enhances the visuals and sound, or even allows you to interact with the performance in real time.
And maybe more personalized experiences, tailored to your individual preferences.
Smaller, more intimate venues could become more popular, offering a closer connection with the artists.
But I also hope that the core elements of a live concert, the energy, the shared experience, the raw emotion, don't get lost in the technology.
I agree. It's about finding a balance between innovation and authenticity.
Exactly. The human element is what makes concerts so special.
The impact of music on fashion trends.
Have you ever noticed how much music influences fashion trends?
Absolutely. Think about the punk rock era and the ripped jeans, safety pins, and leather jackets. It was a direct reflection of the music.
Or the grunge scene in the 90s, with the oversized flannels and Doc Martens. It was all about anti-fashion.
And now, with the rise of hip-hop, we're seeing more streetwear and athletic-inspired looks.
It's like the artists become style icons, and their fans want to emulate their look.
Music provides a visual identity, a way to express yourself and your affiliations.
It's a symbiotic relationship. Fashion helps to define a genre, and music helps to popularize a style.
The influence of genre bending in film. I've been noticing more and more genre bending in films lately. What do you think of it?
I think it can be really refreshing. When done well, it can create something truly unique and unexpected.
Like Shaun of the Dead, which blends horror and comedy so seamlessly.
Exactly. Or Parasite, which starts as a comedy but evolves into something much darker and more complex.
It keeps the audience on their toes. You never quite know what to expect, which can be really exciting.
But it can also be risky. If the blend isn't balanced, it can feel disjointed and confusing.
True. It takes a skilled filmmaker to pull it off successfully. But when it works, it's brilliant.
The most disappointing movie ending.
What's the most disappointing movie ending you've ever seen? Oh, that's easy. Game of Thrones. The whole series was great, but the ending was so rushed and unsatisfying. I agree. I was so invested in the characters, and then nothing. A real letdown. It felt like they just wanted to be done with it. What about you? Any contenders? For me, it's the ending of Lost. So many unanswered questions, and a really ambiguous resolution. Lost! I can see that. Some people loved it, but others felt cheated. It's always a risk when a show builds up so much mystery. Exactly. The higher the expectations, the harder it is to deliver a satisfying conclusion.
The most memorable movie character. Who's the most memorable movie character you can think of?
That's tough. There are so many great ones, but I'd have to say Darth Vader. The voice, the costume, the presence, iconic.
Definitely a strong contender. What about someone less obviously iconic, but still incredibly compelling?
Maybe Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. So intelligent and terrifying at the same time.
Good choice. Anthony Hopkins' portrayal was masterful. It's amazing how a character can stay with you long after the movie ends.
It's the complexity, I think. The best characters have flaws and contradictions that make them feel real, even if they're fictional.
Exactly. They're not just good or bad. They're human.
The power of musical collaboration. Some of the best songs come from musical collaborations, don't you think?
Absolutely. When artists from different backgrounds come together, it can create something really special.
Like Queen and David Bowie's Under Pressure. That's a classic example of two iconic voices blending perfectly.
Or Jay-Z and Kanye West's Watch the Throne, two different styles, but they complemented each other so well.
It's interesting to see how each artist influences the other, and how the song evolves as a result.
Sometimes it's a clash of egos, but when it works, it's magic.
Yeah, a good collaboration can push artists out of their comfort zone and lead to unexpected results. The underrated TV show Gem. What's a TV show you think is really underrated?
There are a few, but I'd say Freaks and Geeks. It was canceled after one season, but it's a brilliant coming-of-age story.
Oh, I've heard good things about that one. What makes it so special?
It's incredibly relatable and honest. The characters feel like real people, and the writing is fantastic.
I'll have to check it out. What about you? Any underrated gems you'd recommend?
I'd say Happy Endings. It's a hilarious sitcom that didn't get the recognition it deserved. Great ensemble cast.
I'm always looking for new shows to watch, so thanks for the recommendations.
Debating the merits of autotune.
What are your thoughts on autotune in modern music? Do you think it's overused? That's a tough one. On one hand, it can correct imperfections and create interesting effects. But on the other hand, it can make everyone sound the same, right? It hides natural talent. True, I think it depends on how it's used. As a subtle tool, it's fine. As a crutch, not so much. I agree, some artists use it as an artistic choice, and it works well. Others just rely on it completely. Do you have any examples of artists who use it well? I think Artist Name uses it creatively to enhance their vocals and create a unique sound.
Exploring global music scenes. Have you ever explored music scenes outside of the mainstream Western genres?
A little bit. I've dabbled in K-pop and some Latin music. Anything you'd recommend?
Oh, definitely. Have you heard of Afrobeat? It's a vibrant genre from West Africa.
Afrobeat, huh? I'll look into that. What makes it so special?
The infectious rhythms, the political messages, and the sheer energy. Fela Kuti is a legend.
Sounds intriguing. Anything else that comes to mind?
Tuvan throat singing is fascinating. It's a completely different vocal technique.
Throat singing? That sounds intense. I'm adding that to my list. The art of improvisational comedy.
Have you ever tried improvisational comedy? It seems terrifying, but also really fun.
I've taken a couple of workshops. It's definitely challenging, but incredibly rewarding.
What's the hardest part about it?
Probably letting go of control and trusting your instincts. You have to be present in the moment.
I can see that. It's like you have to be ready for anything.
Exactly. And supporting your scene partners. Yes, and is the golden rule.
Yes, and makes sense. Building on each other's ideas is key.
Absolutely. It's all about collaboration and creating something together on the spot.
The best fictional TV world to live in.
If you could live in any fictional TV world, which one would you choose?
That's a hard one. I'd have to weigh the pros and cons of each world.
Exactly. Some are exciting, but also super dangerous.
I think I'd pick the World of V-Show title. It seems relatively peaceful and has cool technology.
Oh, that's a good choice. What do you like about it?
The community seems really supportive, and I'd love to have a specific element of the world.
Yeah, that does sound appealing. I'd probably choose another TV show title because...
The best movie adaptation of a book.
What's the best movie adaptation of a book you've ever seen?
That's a tough one. There are so many. I always thought Lord of the Rings was exceptionally well done.
Oh, absolutely. They really captured the scale and the spirit of the books.
What about you? Any adaptations that stand out?
I'm a big fan of Pride and Prejudice, the year version. The casting was perfect.
I agree. Keira Knightley was amazing. It's faithful to the book, but still feels fresh.
Exactly. Some adaptations take too many liberties, but that one struck the right balance.
The enduring appeal of board games. With all the video games and digital entertainment, why do you think board games are still so popular?
I think it's the social interaction. You're actually face to face with people.
That makes sense. It's a more tangible experience than staring at a screen.
And there's a board game for everyone, from simple party games to complex strategy games.
What's your favorite board game?
I'm a big fan of Board Game Title. It's challenging and requires a lot of planning.
I've heard of that one. Maybe we can play sometime.
The evolution of superhero movies.
Superhero movies have come a long way, haven't they? From campy to complex.
Definitely. Remember the early ones? They were fun, but not exactly deep.
Now they're exploring complex themes and character arcs. It's impressive.
Do you think the superhero fatigue is real, though?
I think it's possible. They need to keep evolving and offering something new.
Agreed. Exploring different genres within the superhero framework could help.
Yeah, like a superhero horror movie or a superhero comedy. That could be interesting.
The most impactful music video of all time.
What music video do you think has had the biggest impact on pop culture?
That's a tough one. Michael Jackson's Thriller definitely comes to mind.
Definitely. The cinematic quality and the choreography were groundbreaking.
What about something more recent? Maybe Beyoncé's Formation.
That's a great point. Formation sparked a lot of important conversations.
It was visually stunning and had a powerful message. I think it'll be remembered for a long time.
I agree. It's hard to choose just one, but those are definitely contenders. The most underrated album of the last decade.
What's an album from the last decade that you think deserves more recognition? Let me think. I'd say album title by artist name. I haven't heard of that one. What genre is it? It's a mix of genre 1 and genre 2 with really thoughtful lyrics. What makes it so special in your opinion? The songwriting is incredible and the production is really unique. It's a hidden gem. I'll have to check it out. Thanks for the recommendation.
The revival of older video games. Have you noticed how many older video games are being remastered or remade lately?
Yeah, it's a huge trend. I think it's a mix of nostalgia and improved technology.
Exactly. Do you think they always do a good job with the remakes?
Hit or miss, honestly. Some stay true to the original, others change too much.
Which remake disappointed you the most?
I was a little let down by the game title remake. They changed the gameplay too much.
I see what you mean. I prefer when they enhance the graphics but keep the core gameplay intact.
Best TV show final season.
What TV show do you think had the best final season? One that really stuck the landing? For me, it's 6 Feet Under. The ending was perfect, and the whole season built up to it beautifully. That's a great choice. I'd probably say Breaking Bad. The tension was incredible, and the ending felt earned. Oh yeah, Breaking Bad was amazing. So many shows fumble the final season, it's rare to see one done so well. It's true. It's like they lose their way or try to cram too much in. Or they just try to please everyone. And end up pleasing no one. Exactly. A good final season needs to be true to the show's core.
Favorite fictional concert.
If you could attend any fictional concert, from any movie or TV show, which one would you choose?
Ooh, that's a fun question. I think I'd want to see Spinal Tap at their peak. Even though it would probably be a disaster, it would be hilarious.
Haha, good choice. I'd go for the Blues Brothers concert at the Palace Hotel Ballroom. Such energy.
Yes, that would be incredible. So much soul and great music.
It's the kind of concert where everyone's dancing and having a blast.
Exactly. It's all about the atmosphere and the shared experience.
Plus, you know there'd be some crazy stuff happening. Forgotten 90s bands.
What's a 90s band that you loved that seems to have completely disappeared from the cultural radar?
Oh man, so many. I'd have to say Letters to Cleo. They had some great power pop songs.
Letters to Cleo, wow, I haven't heard that name in ages. I was always partial to Space Hog. In the Meantime was such a jam.
Space Hog! Yes, they were awesome. It's weird how some bands just fade away like that.
I guess it's just the nature of the music industry. There's always something new coming along.
Still, it's a shame. Those bands deserve more recognition.
Totally. Time for a 90s throwback playlist, I think.
Modern movie musicals.
What are your thoughts on the recent wave of movie musicals? Are they any good?
I think some are great, some are misses. La La Land was fantastic, but I wasn't a huge fan of Cats.
Oh God, Cats! The less said about that, the better. I really enjoyed The Greatest Showman, though.
Yeah, that one was fun and uplifting. I think the key is finding a balance between spectacle and genuine emotion.
Agreed. And good music, obviously. If the songs aren't catchy, the whole thing falls flat.
Definitely. But I do think it's cool that musicals are having a resurgence.
Me too. It's a nice change of pace from all the superhero movies.
Agreed. Give me some singing and dancing any day.
Overhyped movies.
What's a movie that was incredibly hyped up, but ultimately didn't live up to the expectations?
Definitely Avatar. The visuals were amazing, sure, but the story was so cliché and predictable.
I can see that. It felt like Dances with Wolves in Space. For me, it was probably The Great Gatsby with Leonardo DiCaprio. All style, no substance.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. So much hype, and then, meh. Did you see the sequel?
To Avatar? No way! Once was enough. Too long, and not enough story to justify the length.
Smart move. I wish I had skipped it. It's the same thing all over again.
Lesson learned. Don't always believe the hype.
The best use of music in a TV show scene.
What's the best use of music you've ever seen in a TV show scene? Something that really stuck with you.
Oh, that's a good one. I always think of the scene in Breaking Bad, where they're cooking meth and Crystal Blue Persuasion is playing. It's so perfectly juxtaposed.
That's a classic! For me, it's probably the final scene of 6 Feet Under with Breathe Me by Sia. Gut-wrenching.
Oh, wow, yes. That one gets me every time. The way the music builds as the characters' lives flash forward is just brilliant.
Exactly. It elevates the scene from just a visual montage to something truly emotional.
It really does. It makes you think about the power of music in storytelling.
Absolutely. It can completely change the impact of a scene.
The future of video games.
What do you think is the next big thing in video games?
I think we're going to see a lot more integration of AI and machine learning. Games that adapt to your playstyle and create truly unique experiences.
That sounds cool, but also a little scary. I'm excited about the potential of VR, but it still feels a bit clunky.
Yeah, VR has a way to go. But I think AR, augmented reality, could be a game changer. Imagine playing a game that overlays onto the real world.
That would be amazing. I also think cloud gaming is going to become more prevalent. No more needing expensive hardware.
Definitely. The accessibility of gaming is only going to increase.
It will be interesting to see how the industry evolves over the next few years.
The most disappointing album. What's the most disappointing album you've ever bought? Huge expectations that just weren't met.
That's a tough one. Probably Artist Name's last album. Their previous work was incredible, but this one felt phoned in.
Oh really? I heard mixed things about that. What specifically didn't you like?
It just felt generic. The lyrics were weak, the melodies were uninspired, and it lacked the energy of their earlier stuff.
I know that feeling. I had that with another artist's album a few years ago. Such a letdown.
It's the worst when you're such a big fan, and then they release something like that.
Totally. It makes you question everything you thought you knew about them.
The most innovative music video.
What music video do you think was the most innovative or groundbreaking?
I'd probably say Thriller by Michael Jackson. It was basically a mini-movie and changed the game for music videos.
Definitely a classic. For me, it's Tonight Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins. The special effects were so ahead of their time.
Oh yeah, that one was cool. It's amazing how much effort used to go into music videos.
Yeah, now it seems like a lot of them are just thrown together. The artistry is sometimes lost.
True, but every now and then you see a video that's truly creative and memorable.
Hopefully that trend will continue. Music videos can be such a powerful art form. The most underrated TV show theme song. What's a TV show theme song that you think is really good but doesn't get enough recognition?
That's a good question. I'd say the theme song for The Leftovers. It's so haunting and atmospheric.
Oh, I know that one. It definitely sets the tone for the show. I always like the theme for Bosch. It's gritty and bluesy.
I'll have to check that out. It's amazing how a good theme song can really enhance a show.
Totally. It becomes part of the show's identity.
It can even make you want to watch a show, just because you like the theme song.
True. It's like a little preview of what's to come.
Exactly. Good music is so important for entertainment.
Musical instrument learning curves. I've been thinking about learning the ukulele. Seems easy enough, right?
Famous last words. It's probably easier than guitar, but still takes dedication. What made you pick the uke?
Just seems fun and portable. Plus, I love Hawaiian music. Have you ever tried learning an instrument?
I tried the piano as a kid, hated practicing scales, gave it up pretty quickly, regret it now though.
Scales are the worst. Maybe the uke won't be so bad. I'm hoping to learn some basic chords first.
Smart. Start small. There are tons of free resources online these days.
That's the plan. Wish me luck.
Good luck. Let me know how it goes.
Remakes versus reboots. Which is better? Another classic movie is getting a remake. I'm starting to feel remake fatigue.
I know, right? Sometimes I think they should just leave the originals alone. But then again, some remakes are actually good.
True. But what about reboots? Do you prefer a complete reimagining or a more faithful adaptation?
I think it depends on the material. If the original was flawed, a reboot might be better to fix those issues. But if it's a masterpiece, a remake is just unnecessary.
That's a good point. A reboot offers more creative freedom, but it also risks alienating fans of the original.
Exactly. And sometimes, a remake just feels like a cash grab with no artistic merit.
Completely agree. So what's a remake or reboot that you actually enjoyed?
I thought Battlestar Galactica was a pretty great reboot. It took the core concept and modernized it brilliantly.
Reviving forgotten film genres.
I've been on a real film noir kick lately. It's amazing how many great ones I'd never even heard of.
Noir is great. It feels like it's experiencing a bit of a revival, actually. What are some you'd recommend?
Definitely Out of the Past and The Big Sleep. But I've also been digging some lesser-known ones like Detour.
I'll have to check those out. I've been hoping for a resurgence of the Western, but a Skeeter good time one, not just a pastiche.
Oh, I agree. A Western that actually feels authentic and not just trying to be cool.
Yeah, something with the grit and moral ambiguity of the classics. Maybe someone will take a chance on it.
Fingers crossed. What other genres do you think deserve a comeback?
Sword and sandal epics, but done well, with practical effects and a compelling story.
The allure of true crime documentaries. I just finished watching that true crime documentary about the unsolved mystery in Oregon. So gripping.
Oh, I think I saw that trending. What is it about these documentaries that's so captivating?
I think it's the real-life suspense and the attempt to understand human behavior, even the darkest aspects of it.
That makes sense. I get hooked on trying to figure out the why behind the crime, but sometimes it feels a bit exploitative, doesn't it?
Definitely. There's a fine line between informing and sensationalizing. It's important to be aware of that when watching them.
I agree. Do you think they actually help solve cold cases sometimes?
Occasionally, yes. Public attention can bring new leads to light, but more often it's just a story well told.
True. It's a complex genre, that's for sure.
The art of film poster design.
I was just looking at some classic movie posters. They're such works of art in themselves.
Absolutely. A good poster can really capture the essence of a film and make you want to see it.
I think it's a lost art a bit. Now they're often just generic photoshopped images of the actors.
Yeah, the creativity and artistry seem to have diminished. Remember the hand-painted posters of the past?
Those were amazing. Saul Bass's posters for Hitchcock films are iconic, simple yet so effective.
Definitely. A great poster can tell a story without giving too much away. What makes a poster memorable for you?
For me, it's the use of color, typography, and composition. It has to be visually striking and intriguing.
Agreed. It needs to be more than just advertising. It needs to be art.
The enduring power of TV theme songs.
I was just humming the theme song to Friends the other day. It's so catchy.
Haha, me too. It's amazing how those theme songs get stuck in your head. They're so nostalgic.
They really are. Do you think TV theme songs are as important now as they used to be?
That's a good question. With streaming services, a lot of shows skip the theme song altogether. It's a shame.
I agree. A good theme song sets the tone and introduces the characters. It's part of the show's identity.
Definitely. Think about The Simpsons or Game of Thrones. Those theme songs are iconic.
Exactly. They instantly transport you to that world. What's your all-time favorite TV theme song?
Probably The X-Files. That eerie melody is just perfect.
The evolution of gaming narratives.
I'm amazed by how much video game storytelling has improved over the years.
Definitely. Remember the days of simple plot lines like rescue the princesses? Now we have complex narratives with moral choices.
Yeah, games like The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption 2 Feet have raised the bar for storytelling in the medium.
Absolutely. And the use of motion capture and voice acting has made the characters so much more believable.
It's almost like playing an interactive movie. Do you think this focus on narrative is a good thing for gaming?
I think so. It adds depth and emotional resonance to the experience, but gameplay should still be the priority.
Agreed. A great story can't save a game with bad mechanics. It needs to be a balance of both.
What's your favorite game for its storytelling?
The impact of AI on visual arts.
Have you seen some of the AI-generated art lately? It's getting pretty impressive. Yeah, it's both amazing and a little unsettling. What do you think about it? I'm torn. On one hand, it's a powerful tool for creativity and allows anyone to create visuals. On the other hand, it raises questions about originality and authorship. Exactly. Can an AI truly be an artist, or is it just a sophisticated algorithm mimicking styles? That's the million-dollar question. And what about copyright? Who owns the rights to AI-generated art? It's a legal minefield. I also worry about the impact on human artists. Will AI replace them? I hope not. I think AI can be a tool for artists, but it shouldn't replace human creativity and expression. Agreed. It's a brave new world, and we need to figure out the ethical implications.
The impact of viral dance trends.
Have you seen that new dance trend on TikTok? Everyone's doing it.
Oh, you mean the one to that remixed 80s song? Yeah, it's everywhere. It's crazy how quickly these things spread.
I know! And it's actually driving the song up the charts. It's like a modern-day Macarena effect.
Definitely. It's interesting how these trends impact the music industry. Do you think it's a positive thing?
I think it can be. It introduces older music to a new generation and gives artists exposure. But it also feels a bit fleeting.
True. The song's popularity might be entirely based on the dance, and once the trend dies, so does the song.
Exactly. It's a double-edged sword for sure.
I wonder what the next big dance craze will be.
The rise of niche streaming services. Have you noticed how many streaming services there are now? It's getting a bit overwhelming.
Totally. And now there are all these niche services popping up, like the one dedicated to classic horror movies.
Yeah, I saw one for independent films and another just for anime. Is this the future of streaming?
It might be. People are tired of scrolling through endless options on the big platforms. They want curated content.
That makes sense. But how many subscriptions can one person afford? It's starting to feel like cable all over again.
True. Maybe we'll see more bundling options or a consolidation of these niche services in the future.
That would be ideal. I love the idea of specialized content, but I don't want to pay for a dozen different subscriptions.
Me neither. It'll be interesting to see how the streaming landscape evolves.
Analyzing album art.
Have you seen the new album art for that band, Echo Bloom? It's wild.
No, I haven't. What's it like?
It's all abstract shapes and colors, really vibrant. I'm not sure what it means, but it's definitely eye-catching.
I always think album art is so important. It sets the tone before you even hear the music.
Exactly. Sometimes it even influences how I interpret the songs.
Do you think it's better when the art directly relates to the music, or when it's more symbolic?
I think symbolic is more interesting. It adds another layer to the experience. What do you think?
I agree. Direct representation can be a bit boring.
Concert etiquette pet peeves.
I went to a concert last night, and someone was filming the entire thing on their iPad. So annoying.
Oh, I hate that. It blocks the view for everyone behind them.
Seriously, what are some of your concert pet peeves?
People talking loudly during the quiet songs, like, show some respect.
Ah, yes, and when people push their way to the front, halfway through the show.
Or when they sing along off-key and ruin the whole experience.
It's the worst. I just want to enjoy the music.
Me too. Some people just don't know how to behave.
Debating the merits of autotune. What do you think about the overuse of autotune in modern music?
Honestly, I have mixed feelings. Sometimes it sounds cool, but other times it's just distracting.
I agree. It can be used creatively as an effect, but often it's just to cover up bad singing.
Exactly, and it makes everything sound so homogeneous. Where's the personality?
I think it's also setting unrealistic expectations for singers. People expect perfection.
That's a good point. Do you think there's a place for it in certain genres?
Definitely. In electronic music, for example, it can add to the overall sound.
Yeah, but in other genres, it just feels like cheating.
Movie tropes we're tired of.
I'm so tired of seeing the damsel in distress trope in movies. It's so outdated.
Oh, me too! And the misunderstanding that could be solved with a 5-minute conversation.
Ah, yes, so frustrating. What other tropes are you sick of?
The chosen one narrative. It's been done to death.
Totally. And the fake relationship that turns real, predictable.
Or the villain who monologues their entire plan before trying to kill the hero.
Haha, yes, why do they always do that?
I guess it's supposed to build suspense, but it just feels silly at this point.
Reviving forgotten film genres. I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if someone revived the film noir genre?
Oh yeah, the smoky atmosphere, the morally ambiguous characters.
Exactly. Or even the classic Western. Done well, it could be amazing.
I think the problem is that audiences have changed. What genres do you think could make a comeback?
Maybe swashbucklers? Pirates and sword fights are always fun.
That's a good one. Or even a return to classic monster movies, but with modern special effects.
Now you're talking. I'd definitely watch that. The allure of true crime documentaries.
I just finished watching that true crime documentary about the unsolved mystery in Oakwood. So gripping.
Oh, I've heard about that one. What is it that makes those documentaries so addictive?
I think it's the puzzle aspect, trying to piece together the clues and figure out what happened.
Yeah, and there's also a morbid curiosity, isn't there? A fascination with the darker side of human nature.
Definitely. But I also think it's about justice, hoping that the truth will eventually come out.
Do you ever feel like they exploit the victims and their families?
That's a valid concern. Some documentaries definitely cross the line.
It's a fine line between informing and sensationalizing, I guess.
The impact of viral dance trends. Have you seen that new dance trend on TikTok? Everyone's doing it.
Oh, the one with the ridiculously fast footwork? Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's amazing how quickly these trends spread. They can really boost a song's popularity.
True, but do you think it cheapens the music in a way? It becomes more about the dance than the song itself?
That's a valid point. It can definitely overshadow the artist's original intention.
I also wonder how many people actually know the song outside of the dance context.
Probably not many, but hey, at least it gets people moving.
True. It's a fun way to engage with music, even if it's fleeting.
The most disappointing album.
What's the most disappointing album you've ever listened to?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Probably Band Name's latest album. I had such high hopes.
Really? What was wrong with it?
It just felt generic. Like they were trying too hard to appeal to a wider audience.
I hate when that happens. It's like they've lost their spark.
Exactly. What about you? Any albums that let you down?
Yeah, another Band Name's sophomore album. Their first one was so innovative, but the second one was just a rehash of the same ideas.
It's always a risk with second albums, isn't it?
The power of musical collaboration.
What's your favorite musical collaboration of all time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd have to say Queen and David Bowie on Under Pressure.
Classic. The combination of their voices is just incredible.
It's like their egos somehow amplified each other instead of clashing. Do you have a favorite?
Probably Jay-Z and Alicia Keys on Empire State of Mind. It's such a powerful anthem.
That's a great one. It really captures the spirit of New York.
I think the best collaborations bring out something new in both artists.
Totally agree. It's more than just the sum of their parts. The staying power of one-hit wonders.
Why do you think some one-hit wonders stay in our cultural consciousness for so long?
Nostalgia, probably. They remind us of a specific time and place.
Yeah, and often they're just really catchy songs, regardless of anything else.
True. Plus, there's something intriguing about the mystery of the artist. What happened to them?
It's like a pop culture enigma. Do you have a favorite one-hit wonder?
Oh, definitely Tainted Love by Soft Cell. That synth riff is iconic.
Good choice. Mine is probably Come On Eileen by Dexys Midnight Runners. So much energy.
Those songs are just timeless, aren't they?
Analyzing music lyrics. Have you ever really listened to the lyrics of a song and realized it meant something completely different than you thought?
Definitely. I used to think that Semi-Charmed Life was a happy, upbeat song. Then I actually paid attention to the lyrics.
Oh yeah, that one's a classic example. It's so dark when you actually hear what they're saying.
Exactly. It's interesting how the melody can completely mask the true meaning.
I think that's what makes some songs so powerful. The juxtaposition of the music and the lyrics.
Totally. It adds another layer of depth and complexity.
Do you have any other songs that come to mind like that?
Debating cover songs. What's your take on cover songs? Do you think they can ever be better than the original?
That's a tough one. I think it's rare, but sometimes a cover can bring a fresh perspective to a song.
I agree. I think it depends on how different the cover is. A straight copy is usually pointless.
Right. It's about putting your own spin on it. Like Johnny Cash's Hurt, that's a masterpiece.
Oh, absolutely. That's a perfect example of a cover surpassing the original in emotional impact.
What about covers that completely change the genre? Do you think that works?
Sometimes it can be really interesting, but it can also be a complete disaster.
True. It's a gamble.
The appeal of cult classic films.
What do you think makes a movie a cult classic?
I think it's a combination of things. Usually, they're movies that weren't initially successful, but gained a devoted following over time.
Yeah, and they often have a unique or quirky style that sets them apart from mainstream films.
Exactly! Like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's totally bizarre, but people love it.
Or Napoleon Dynamite. It's so awkward and deadpan, but it's hilarious.
I think the rewatchability factor is also key. Cult classics are movies you can watch over and over again and still enjoy.
Do you have a favorite cult classic?
Probably Big Lebowski. It's just so quotable and endlessly entertaining.
The art of film editing.
I've been reading about film editing lately, and it's amazing how much it affects the pacing and emotional impact of a movie.
Seriously, it's a completely invisible art when it's done well. You don't even notice it.
Exactly. But a bad edit can completely ruin a scene, even if the acting and cinematography are great.
Do you have any favorite examples of great editing?
The opening sequence of Baby Driver is a masterclass in editing. The way the music is synced with the action is incredible.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect example. Edgar Wright is a genius when it comes to visual storytelling.
What about the opposite? Any examples of editing that really took you out of a movie?
I can't think of anything specific right now, but I know exactly what you mean. It's jarring when it's bad.
The best fictional band. If you could see any fictional band in concert, who would it be?
Oh, that's a fun question. I think I'd have to go with Spinal Tap, just for the sheer absurdity of it all.
Spinal Tap is a great choice. The stage mishaps alone would be worth the price of admission.
Exactly. What about you? Who would you pick?
I'm torn between The Commitments and Stillwater from Almost Famous.
Stillwater. Good pick. They had some killer songs.
Yeah, and the whole 70s rock vibe would be amazing to experience live.
The best movie villain motivations.
What makes a movie villain truly compelling?
For me, it's all about their motivations. If I can understand why they're doing what they're doing, even if I don't agree with it, that makes them interesting.
Yeah, a one-dimensional villain who's just evil for the sake of being evil is boring.
Exactly. Think of Thanos in the Avengers movies. He genuinely believed he was saving the universe, even if his methods were extreme.
Good example. Or maybe Eric Killmonger in Black Panther. He wanted to liberate oppressed people, but he was willing to use violence to achieve his goals.
Those villains who have a point, even if you disagree, are the most memorable.
So, a villain with a warped sense of justice?
Precisely. It makes them more human and more terrifying.
The impact of award shows. Do you think award shows like the Oscars and the Grammys still matter?
That's a good question. I think they have less cultural impact than they used to, but they still hold some weight.
Yeah, I think they can definitely boost the careers of the winners and bring attention to deserving artists.
But they can also be pretty predictable and out of touch with what people are actually watching and listening to.
Totally. And the whole red carpet spectacle can be a bit much sometimes.
I think people are more interested in the fashion and the celebrity gossip than the actual awards.
Do you ever watch award shows?
Sometimes, if there's a particular movie or artist I'm rooting for. But I mostly just catch the highlights online later.
The influence of technology on music production.
It's crazy how much technology has changed music production, isn't it?
Totally. From recording techniques to distribution, it's a completely different landscape than it was even 20 years ago.
Do you think it's made music better or worse overall?
That's debatable. On one hand, it's democratized music creation. Anyone can make music in their bedroom now.
True. But on the other hand, there's so much noise to cut through, it's harder to get noticed.
And I think sometimes the focus on perfect production can suck the soul out of the music.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's something to be said for the raw energy of a live recording.
Exactly. It's a trade-off, I guess.
The most memorable TV theme songs.
What's the first TV theme song that pops into your head?
Oh, that's easy. Friends. It's so catchy and instantly recognizable.
Definitely a classic. I think The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is another one that's permanently etched in my brain.
Oh yeah, the lyrics are amazing. Some theme songs really set the tone for the entire show.
Totally. Think of the Game of Thrones theme. It's so epic and dramatic.
And what about instrumental themes? Do those stick with you as much?
Definitely. The Twilight Zone theme is iconic, even without lyrics.
True. It's all about the melody and the mood it creates.
The power of sound design in film.
I watched a video about sound design in movies the other day, and it blew my mind how much it contributes to the overall experience.
Oh yeah, sound design is so underrated. It can make or break a scene, even if you don't consciously realize it.
Exactly. Like the sound of a lightsaber in Star Wars. It's so iconic, and it adds so much to the impact of the scene.
Totally. Or the Wilhelm scream, it's a classic sound effect that's used in so many movies.
Have you ever noticed how they use silence effectively in films to build tension?
Absolutely. Silence can be just as powerful as a loud explosion.
What are some movies where you thought the sound design was particularly well done?
Debating the merits of auto-tune.
What's your take on auto-tune? Is it a legitimate artistic tool or just a crutch for bad singers?
I think it can be both. It depends on how it's used.
Yeah, when it's used subtly to correct minor imperfections, it's probably fine.
But when it's used to completely transform someone's voice, it feels a bit disingenuous.
It also creates unrealistic expectations for singers. People think everyone can sound perfect.
True. But on the other hand, it's opened up new creative possibilities for artists to experiment with sound.
That's a good point. It can be used as an effect, like a vocal instrument.
Exactly. So I think it's less about whether it's good or bad and more about how it's used creatively. Discovering local music scenes.
Have you explored the local music scene around here?
Not really. I usually just stick to what I know online. Is it any good?
It's surprisingly diverse. There are a few open mic nights at the coffee shop downtown.
Open mic nights, huh? I might check that out. What kind of music is usually played?
Mostly acoustic stuff, singer-songwriters, but sometimes you get a surprise. Last week someone played a killer blues set.
Blues! Nice! I'm a sucker for a good blues riff. Maybe I'll swing by next week.
Definitely do. It's a great way to discover new local talent and support the community.
Cool. I'm in. Thanks for the tip.
Reviving forgotten film genres. I wish filmmakers would revive some of the forgotten film genres. Like, where are all the swashbucklers?
That's a great point. Or the classic westerns, but with a modern twist?
Yes, a gritty, realistic western would be amazing. Or even a good old-fashioned musical.
Musicals are definitely due for a comeback. They're so uplifting and visually stunning when done well.
I think the problem is studios are afraid to take risks on something that's not guaranteed to be a hit.
True, but look at the success of things like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Originality can pay off.
That's a good example. Maybe there's hope for a swashbuckler revival after all.
The allure of true crime podcasts.
Why do you think true crime podcasts are so popular right now?
I think it's a mix of things. Partly the mystery, partly the human element.
Yeah, it's like solving a puzzle, but with real-life consequences.
And a lot of them are really well produced, with in-depth research and compelling storytelling.
True, the production quality has gone way up. But sometimes I wonder if it's ethical to profit off of someone's tragedy.
That's a valid concern. It's important to be respectful of the victims and their families.
I guess it comes down to how the story is told and the intentions behind it.
Exactly. Some podcasts are genuinely trying to shed light on important issues, while others are just sensationalizing the crime.
The art of film poster design.
Have you ever noticed how much thought goes into film poster design?
Definitely. A good poster can make or break a movie's first impression.
It's like visual storytelling in a single image. It needs to capture the essence of the film.
And they often use specific colors, fonts, and imagery to convey a certain mood or genre.
Like, a dark and gritty poster with sharp fonts screams action or thriller.
Exactly. Or a colorful, whimsical poster with playful fonts suggests a comedy or family film.
It's amazing how much information they can pack into such a small space.
It really is an art form. A well-designed poster can become iconic in its own right.
The ethics of music sampling.
What are your thoughts on music sampling? Is it art or theft?
That's a tough one. I think it can be both, depending on how it's done.
Yeah, like if it's just a blatant ripoff, it's definitely theft.
Exactly. But if it's transformed into something new and original, then it becomes art in its own right.
So context matters?
Absolutely. And also, whether the original artist is credited and compensated.
Good point. Fair compensation is key to making it ethical.
Precisely. It's a complex issue with no easy answers.
The evolution of gaming communities.
Gaming communities have changed so much over the years, haven't they?
Definitely. Remember the days of just local LAN parties?
Oh man, those were the best. Now it's all online, global communities.
Which is cool, but also has its downsides. More toxicity, unfortunately.
Yeah, anonymity can bring out the worst in people. But there are also amazing communities built around specific games.
True. The supportive and creative communities are incredible. Look at the modding scene.
Exactly. It's a mixed bag, but the potential for connection and collaboration is huge.
I agree. Gaming communities are constantly evolving, and it's fascinating to watch.
The future of concert experiences.
How do you think concert experiences will change in the future?
I think we'll see more integration of technology, like augmented reality and interactive elements.
Yeah, imagine being able to see virtual effects overlaid on the stage during the performance.
Or even personalized experiences, where the music and visuals adapt to your preferences.
That sounds pretty cool. But I also hope they don't lose the human connection and energy of live music.
I agree, it's a delicate balance. Technology should enhance the experience, not replace it.
Maybe we'll even see more holographic performances of deceased artists.
That's a bit of a gray area, ethically speaking, but it's definitely a possibility. The impact of AI on visual arts.
Have you seen the AI-generated art that's been popping up everywhere? Yeah, it's pretty wild. Some of it is genuinely impressive. It makes you wonder what the future holds for artists, though. I think it will change the landscape, but it won't replace human artists entirely. Maybe it will become a tool that artists can use to enhance their creativity. Yeah, like a digital paintbrush or a new type of medium. The ethical implications are interesting too, like who owns the copyright to AI-generated art? That's a huge question mark. It's a whole new frontier for art and technology.
The power of TV theme songs.
Do you think TV theme songs are still important these days? Absolutely. A good theme song can instantly set the tone and mood of a show. Yeah, it's like a mini introduction to the whole world of the series. And some of them are just so catchy. They get stuck in your head for days. Totally. I still hum the theme song from The Office sometimes. It's iconic, right? Or the Friends theme. Instantly recognizable and brings back so many memories. It's a shame that some shows skip the theme song altogether now. It feels like a missed opportunity. I agree. A great theme song is like a warm welcome every time you tune in.
Musical biopics. Accuracy versus entertainment.
Have you seen the latest musical biopic? I thought it was great, but some people are saying it took liberties with the facts.
Yeah, I heard that too. It's always a tricky balance, isn't it? How much do you prioritize historical accuracy versus making a compelling story?
Exactly. I want to be entertained, but I also want to learn something about the artist's life.
I think as long as they're upfront about dramatizing certain events, it's acceptable. It's when they present fiction as fact that it becomes problematic.
That's a good point. Did you feel like this particular movie crossed that line?
A little bit, especially with the portrayal of their early struggles. It felt a bit exaggerated for dramatic effect.
I agree. Still, the music was fantastic, and the lead actor was phenomenal.
Definitely. Ultimately, I enjoyed it, but I'll probably do some fact-checking on my own later.
Reviving forgotten film genres.
I've been thinking about how some film genres seem to fade away and then suddenly come back into style.
Yeah, like the recent resurgence of westerns and musicals. What genre would you like to see make a comeback?
I'd love to see a revival of classic film noir. Those dark, atmospheric thrillers were so captivating.
That's a great choice. Or maybe swashbuckling adventure films with pirates and sword fights. Those were always fun.
Definitely. I think there's a hunger for escapism and adventure right now.
I wonder what makes a genre suddenly become popular again. Is it nostalgia, or is it something else?
I think it's a combination of things. Nostalgia plays a role, but also filmmakers finding fresh and innovative ways to approach those genres.
True. It's all about putting a new spin on something familiar.
The allure of true crime entertainment. Why do you think true crime documentaries and podcasts are so popular these days?
I think it's a combination of things. There's a natural human fascination with the macabre and the mysterious.
That makes sense. But is it also about trying to understand the psychology of criminals?
I think so. We want to know what motivates people to commit such heinous acts.
But isn't there a risk of glorifying criminals or exploiting the victims and their families?
That's a valid concern. It's important to approach these stories with sensitivity and respect.
Do you think these shows and podcasts actually help solve cold cases?
Sometimes, yes. The increased attention can lead to new leads and renewed interest in the case.
The enduring appeal of Golden Age Hollywood.
I was watching a classic Hollywood film the other night, and it struck me how timeless they are.
Absolutely. There's a certain charm and elegance to those movies that you don't see as much anymore.
The storytelling feels so different too, more focused on character development and dialogue.
And the costumes, they were so glamorous and iconic.
Do you think modern audiences appreciate them as much as they should?
It's hard to say. I think a lot of younger people might find them slow-paced compared to today's action-packed blockbusters.
That's a shame. They're missing out on some real cinematic masterpieces.
I agree. Maybe we need more initiatives to introduce these films to new generations.
The ethics of AI in music creation. Have you heard about these AI programs that can create music?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. It raises a lot of questions about authorship and creativity, though.
Exactly. If an AI composes a song, who owns the copyright? The programmer, the user?
That's a legal minefield. And what about the impact on human musicians? Will AI eventually replace them?
I hope not. I think AI could be a useful tool for musicians, but it shouldn't be used to completely replace human creativity.
I agree. It's important to consider the ethical implications of this technology before it becomes too widespread.
Do you think AI-generated music will ever be as emotionally resonant as music created by humans?
That's a tough one. Maybe someday. But I think there's something special about the human experience that translates into music.
The impact of autotune on modern music.
What's your take on the heavy use of autotune in so much pop music these days?
It's a mixed bag for me. On one hand, it can create some interesting and unique vocal effects.
True, but doesn't it also mask a lack of actual singing talent?
Sometimes, yeah. It can definitely be overused to the point where everyone sounds the same.
I miss hearing raw, unfiltered vocals. There's something so authentic about it.
I get that, but I also think it opens doors for artists who might not have traditional singing voices to express themselves creatively.
That's a fair point. So you think it's a tool, and it's all about how it's used.
Exactly. In the right hands, it can be really innovative. In the wrong hands, it's just a crutch.
The impact of music on fashion trends.
It's amazing how much music influences fashion, isn't it?
Totally. Think about the punk rock era or the hip-hop scene. Their styles were so distinctive and influential.
Yeah, music creates a whole culture around it, and fashion is a big part of that.
And it's not just the artists themselves, it's also the fans who adopt those styles.
Do you think social media has amplified that influence even more?
Definitely. Now, trends spread so much faster and further.
It's almost like fashion and music are in a constant feedback loop. influencing each other.
Exactly. It's a dynamic and ever-evolving relationship.
The influence of video games on film and TV. Have you noticed how many movies and TV shows are based on video games these days?
Yeah, it's a huge trend. Some of them are actually pretty good.
I think it's interesting how the storytelling in video games has become so sophisticated, making them ripe for adaptation.
Definitely. And the visual effects technology has advanced so much that they can really bring those game worlds to life.
But do you think they always capture the essence of the original game?
That's the challenge, isn't it? It's hard to please everyone, especially hardcore fans.
I think the key is to respect the source material, but also make it work as a standalone film or show.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance, but when it's done right, it can be amazing.
The power of sound design in film. I was watching a thriller the other day, and the sound design was incredible. It really amplified the tension.
Sound design is so underrated. It can make or break a movie, especially in genres like horror and suspense.
Totally. It's not just about the music. It's the ambient sounds, the Foley work, everything.
Yeah, the subtle creaks and whispers can be just as effective as a loud jump scare.
Have you ever noticed how different sounds can evoke different emotions?
Absolutely. A low hum can create a sense of unease, while birds chirping can suggest peace and tranquility.
I think good sound design is almost subliminal. You don't always consciously notice it, but it has a powerful impact on your experience.
Exactly. It's a crucial element of filmmaking that often gets overlooked.
The rise of virtual concerts.
Have you been to any virtual concerts lately?
I tried one, but it wasn't quite the same as being there in person.
I know what you mean. The energy of the crowd is definitely missing.
But on the other hand, you can watch from anywhere in the world, and the sound quality is usually amazing.
That's true. Plus, you don't have to deal with long lines or expensive drinks.
Exactly. I think they're a good alternative, especially for artists I wouldn't normally get to see live.
Do you think virtual concerts will continue to be popular, even after things go back to normal?
I think so. They offer a different kind of experience, and they're more accessible for a lot of people.
Debating movie adaptations.
Have you seen the movie adaptation of Dune?
Yes, I thought it was visually stunning, but it felt a bit rushed in places. Did you read the book?
I did! And that's exactly my problem with it. They left out so much important context and character development.
That's always the challenge with adapting a complex novel. It's hard to fit everything in.
True. But some adaptations are brilliant. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, for example.
Agreed. They managed to capture the spirit of the books perfectly. Rediscovering old albums.
I've been revisiting some old albums lately. It's amazing how much your perspective changes over time.
Oh, I know what you mean. I recently listened to an album I loved in high school, and it hit me completely differently.
Exactly. What album was it?
It was OK Computer by Radiohead. Back then, I just liked the sound, but now I understand the lyrics much better.
Classic. I've been on a David Bowie kick. His artistry continues to impress.
Bowie is timeless. What era are you revisiting?
Mostly his Berlin trilogy. It's so experimental and haunting.
The appeal of classic rock.
I've been getting back into classic rock lately. There's just something timeless about it.
I agree, the songwriting was so strong back then. Who are you listening to?
Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, The Who, The Usual Suspects. But they still sound amazing.
Those bands are legendary for a reason. The raw energy and musicianship are unmatched.
Exactly. And the lyrics often had a depth and complexity that's missing from a lot of modern music.
Definitely. It's music that makes you think and feel, not just dance.
The appeal of reality TV.
I'm not sure why, but I find myself hooked on reality TV sometimes. It's like a train wreck you can't look away from.
I get it. It's the drama, right? And the feeling that you're getting a glimpse into other people's lives.
Yeah, and the editing is so manipulative. They know exactly how to make you root for certain people and hate others.
Exactly. It's all carefully constructed. Do you have a favorite guilty pleasure show?
Probably The Great British Baking Show. It's actually quite wholesome but still addictive.
Oh, that's a good one. It's a nice contrast to all the cutthroat reality competitions. The art of movie soundtracks.
I think a great movie soundtrack can elevate a film to a whole new level.
Completely agree, it's like another character in the story. What are some of your favorites?
The Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks are iconic. They perfectly capture the tone of the films.
Those are great. I'm also a big fan of the Drive soundtrack. It's so atmospheric and moody.
Oh, yes. That's a fantastic choice. The music really enhances the sense of isolation and danger.
And how about original scores? Hans Zimmer's work on Inception is breathtaking.
Absolutely. The music is so integral to the film's narrative.
The evolution of video game music.
Video game music has come so far. I remember the simple 8-bit tunes, and now it's orchestral scores.
It's incredible. The composers are true artists. Have you heard that The Last of Us soundtrack?
Yes, Gustavo Santaolalla's work is hauntingly beautiful. It adds so much emotional depth to the game.
Exactly. And the music in Red Dead Redemption 2 Feet is epic and sweeping.
That's another great example. It really immerses you in the Wild West setting.
I think video game music is finally getting the recognition it deserves as a legitimate art form.
I agree. It's no longer just background noise. It's an integral part of the gaming experience.
The future of independent music. What do you think the future holds for independent musicians with the rise of streaming?
It's a double-edged sword, I think. Streaming gives them exposure, but the royalties are so low.
Exactly. It's hard to make a living solely from streaming revenue.
I think direct-to-fan platforms like Patreon are becoming increasingly important. Building a loyal fan base is key.
That's a good point. Connecting with fans on a personal level seems crucial.
Definitely. And finding alternative revenue streams like merchandise and live performances.
It's a tough landscape, but I admire their resilience and creativity. The impact of social media on music discovery.
I discover so much new music through TikTok these days. It's kind of crazy.
Me too. It's amazing how a short clip can launch a song into the stratosphere.
But is it a good thing? Does it cheapen the experience of discovering music organically?
That's a valid point. It can feel a bit superficial, but it also exposes you to genres and artists you might never have found otherwise.
True. I've discovered some hidden gems that way. It's just important to be discerning.
Absolutely. Don't let the algorithm dictate everything you listen to. The influence of music on mood.
Do you find that music drastically affects your mood?
Absolutely. I can't imagine my life without music to regulate my emotions. What about you?
Same here. I have specific playlists for different moods. Upbeat pop for when I need energy, and something calmer for relaxing.
I do the same. Classical music is my go-to for focus, but I need some heavy metal when I'm working out.
Heavy metal for workouts? I might have to try that.
It's surprisingly effective. Just try to avoid headbanging too much.
The staying power of certain TV sitcoms.
Why do you think some TV sitcoms like Friends or Seinfeld remain so popular even years later?
I think it's the relatable characters and timeless humor. They deal with everyday situations that people can still connect with.
That's true, and the ensemble casts are usually really strong, with great chemistry.
Definitely. The writing is also key. The jokes are clever and well-timed.
And there's a sense of nostalgia, too. People grew up watching these shows.
Exactly. They're like comfort food for the soul. Easy to watch and always make you laugh. Bands that should reunite.
If you could bring back any band for one last tour, who would it be?
That's easy, Oasis. Just imagine the energy of those concerts again.
Oh man, that would be epic, but the Gallagher brothers would probably just end up fighting on stage.
That's part of the charm, isn't it? What about you? Who's your pick?
I'd love to see R.E.M. They ended things on a good note, but I miss their music so much.
Good choice. They've got such a unique sound. Any chance of it happening?
Probably not. Michael Stipe seems pretty content with his solo work, but a girl can dream.
Well, maybe they'll surprise us someday. Never say never in the music world.
Decoding album covers.
I've always wondered, do you think album covers actually influence how we perceive the music?
Definitely. A great cover can set the mood and give you a visual representation of the sound before you even hear a note.
True, but some covers are just plain weird. Like, what's the artist trying to say?
That's the fun part. Sometimes it's abstract, sometimes it's a commentary, and sometimes it's just art for art's sake.
I saw one recently with a photo of a cat wearing a tiny hat. I'm not sure what to make of it.
Haha, maybe it's a perfect album. You never know. Did you listen to it? See, never judge a book by its cover, or an album by its art.
Movie character we wish we could be. If you could be any movie character, who would you choose?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Probably someone like Indiana Jones. Adventurous and always finding cool artifacts.
Good choice. I'd go with someone from a fantasy movie, like Arwen from Lord of the Rings. Being an elf seems pretty awesome.
Yeah, but all that responsibility. I think I'd prefer someone a little more carefree.
What about someone like Ferris Bueller? Just a day of skipping school and having fun.
That does sound tempting. But I'd get caught in a heartbeat. I lack his charm.
Fair enough. So Indiana Jones it is?
For now, yeah. Until I think of someone who gets to eat all the pizza they want without gaining weight.
Movie soundtracks that tell a story.
What movie soundtrack do you think really tells a story on its own?
Definitely Guardians of the Galaxy. The awesome mix is practically another character in the movie.
Absolutely. Each song is perfectly chosen to reflect Peter Quill's emotions and experiences.
And it introduced a whole new generation to some amazing classic rock tracks. What about you?
I'd say Almost Famous. The soundtrack is a journey through 70s rock and roll, and it perfectly captures the spirit of the film.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. You really feel like you're on tour with the band.
The music is so integral to the plot and the character's development, it's not just background noise.
Exactly. It enhances the storytelling in a way that few soundtracks manage to achieve.
Music scenes we wish we'd experienced.
If you could travel back in time to experience any music scene, which would you choose?
Oh, definitely the early 90s grunge scene in Seattle. Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, incredible.
That would be amazing. I'd love to see those bands in their prime. I'm leaning towards the CBGB's punk scene in the 70s.
The Ramones, Blondie, Talking Heads. So raw and energetic. That's a fantastic pick.
Imagine being there when punk rock was just exploding. The energy must have been insane.
It's hard to even fathom. Any other contenders for you?
Maybe the British invasion in the 60s? Seeing the Beatles and the Rolling Stones take over the world?
Each of those scenes shaped music as we know it today. Wish we could have been there.
The art of the TV pilot episode. What makes a truly great TV pilot episode?
It has to grab you immediately, right? Introduce compelling characters and a strong central conflict.
Definitely. And it needs to establish the tone of the show. Is it a comedy, a drama, a thriller?
Exactly. If the pilot is confusing or boring, no one will stick around for the rest of the season.
I think world building is important too. Creating a believable and engaging environment.
Oh yeah, especially for sci-fi or fantasy shows. You need to be invested in the world to care about the story.
What's a pilot that really nailed it, in your opinion?
Breaking Bad. It perfectly sets up Walter White's transformation and the moral dilemmas to come.
The most misunderstood movie character.
Who do you think is the most misunderstood movie character of all time?
That's a great question. I'd say maybe Severus Snape from Harry Potter. People judged him too quickly.
Yeah, he seemed like a villain for so long, but then you find out his whole backstory. It's heartbreaking.
Exactly. He was acting out of love and loyalty. It completely changes your perspective.
I think maybe Maleficent fits that category too. The Disney movie gave her a much more sympathetic backstory.
Definitely. It showed that she wasn't just evil for the sake of being evil. She was wronged.
It's interesting how a little bit of backstory can completely change how we see a character.
Totally. It shows that everyone has their reasons, even if they're not always obvious.
The most underrated TV show theme song. What's a TV show theme song you think is totally underrated?
That's a good one. I always loved the theme song for The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. It's so quirky and fun.
Oh, I don't know that one. I'll have to look it up. I think the Firefly theme is beautiful and really sets the tone for the show.
Yeah, that's a great one too. It's got that melancholic space western vibe. Did you ever watch Wonder Falls?
I've heard of it, but I never got around to watching it. Why?
Its theme song, I Wonder Why, by They Might Be Giants, is super catchy and perfectly captures the show's quirky tone.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list. It's amazing how a theme song can stick with you even years later.
Totally. It's like a mini soundtrack to a specific period in your life.
The most unnecessary movie remake.
What's a movie remake that just completely missed the mark for you? Oh man, there are so many. But the Psycho remake with Vince Vaughn was particularly awful. Why even try to recreate Hitchcock? Seriously, it was a shot-for-shot remake, but it completely lacked the suspense and atmosphere of the original. Exactly. It felt soulless. What about you? Any remakes that made you cringe? The Total Recall remake was pretty disappointing. It lost all the campy charm of the original. Oh yeah, that one was bland and forgettable. They tried to make it more serious, but it just didn't work. Sometimes, a movie is just perfect the way it is. There's no need to mess with it. I agree. Unless they have a really fresh and compelling take, It's usually better to leave the classics alone.
The perfect road trip playlist.
We're heading out on a road trip next week. I'm stressing about the playlist.
Oh, that's the best part. What kind of vibe are you going for?
Definitely upbeat and sing-along able. Nothing too depressing, you know.
Gotcha. Throw in some classic rock anthems, some current pop hits, and maybe a few guilty pleasures?
Guilty pleasures are a must. Any specific recommendations?
Definitely some 80s power ballads, and maybe a little bit of cheesy 90s pop.
Perfect. I'm already feeling more optimistic about this trip.
Don't forget a few slower songs for when you're cruising through scenic routes.
Analyzing pop song formulas. Have you noticed how many pop songs follow the same chord progressions?
Totally. It's almost predictable. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus, repeat. A bridge if they're feeling fancy.
Exactly. Is it laziness or just a formula that works?
Probably a bit of both. Familiarity breeds comfort, I guess. But it can get repetitive.
Do you think artists are consciously aware of it when they're creating?
I'd imagine so. They're crafting a product, after all. Gotta maximize its appeal.
So is there room for innovation within those constraints?
Definitely. Clever lyrics, unique vocal delivery, interesting production. That's where the magic happens.
Concert etiquette pet peeves.
What's your biggest pet peeve at concerts?
People holding up their phones the entire time. It blocks the view and ruins the atmosphere.
Ugh, I hate that too. I understand wanting to capture a few moments, but the whole show?
Exactly. And the constant chatter during quieter songs is so disrespectful.
Oh yes, or people pushing and shoving to get closer to the stage.
It's a free-for-all sometimes. I wish people would just be more considerate of others.
I also get annoyed by people who clearly don't know the band and just talk loudly about unrelated things.
Seriously, if you're not into the music, why are you even there?
Debating the merits of autotune.
What's your take on autotune? Do you think it's ruining music?
That's a loaded question. I think it depends on how it's used. Subtly, it can enhance a vocal performance.
But what about when it's used heavily, creating that robotic sound?
Then it becomes more of an artistic choice, a stylistic effect. Think T-Pain, for example.
Yeah, but doesn't it mask a lack of genuine talent?
Maybe sometimes, but it can also open up new creative avenues. It's another tool for artists to experiment with.
So you're saying it's not inherently bad, just misused sometimes?
Exactly. It's like any technology. It's all about how you wield it.
The allure of mystery films.
I'm a sucker for a good mystery. What draws you to the genre?
I love the puzzle-solving aspect. Trying to piece together the clues before the big reveal.
Me too. And the suspense of not knowing who to trust.
Exactly. The best ones keep you guessing until the very end.
What are some of your favorites?
Definitely Knives Out. It's clever, funny, and has a great cast. What about you?
I'm a big fan of The Usual Suspects. The twist ending still blows my mind.
Oh, that's a classic. It's amazing how a well-crafted mystery can stay with you long after you've seen it.
The appeal of comfort TV.
I've been rewatching The Office for the 10th time. What's your go-to comfort TV show?
Probably Parks and Recreation. It's just so optimistic and funny.
Yeah, those shows are great for when you just need to unwind. Why do you think we're drawn to them?
I think it's the familiarity and the positive vibes. You know what to expect, and it's usually lighthearted.
True. No surprises, just good old-fashioned entertainment.
It's like visiting old friends. You know their quirks and you're comfortable around them.
Do you ever worry about getting stuck in a comfort TV rut?
Sometimes, but it's a nice rut to be in. I always try to balance it with something new.
The art of creating suspense in film.
What do you think makes a truly suspenseful movie?
For me, it's all about building tension gradually. Not just jump scares, but a creeping sense of unease.
I agree. Hitchcock was a master of that, knowing something bad is going to happen but not when.
Exactly, and the use of music is crucial. A subtle score can amplify the suspense tenfold.
What about unreliable narrators? Do they add to the suspense?
Definitely. When you can't trust the character telling the story, it creates a whole new layer of intrigue.
So, it's a combination of visual cues, sound, and psychological manipulation?
Precisely. It's about playing with the audience's expectations and fears.
The best movie character transformations.
What movie character do you think has the most compelling transformation?
That's a tough one. I'd have to say Walter White in Breaking Bad. He goes from mild-mannered teacher to ruthless drug lord.
That's a great example. It's terrifying and fascinating to watch. What about on the more positive side?
Maybe Andy Dufresne. In The Shawshank Redemption, he maintains his hope in humanity despite everything he goes through.
Yeah, that's a powerful one. It shows the resilience of the human spirit.
What about a character who transforms for the worse, but you still understand why?
Maybe Michael Corleone in The Godfather. You see how circumstances and power corrupt him.
Exactly. It's a tragic transformation, but you can see the path he takes to get there.
The evolution of music videos.
Remember when music videos were just performance clips? They've changed so much.
Totally. Now they're mini-movies, often with elaborate storylines and special effects.
Do you think the focus has shifted too much to visuals, overshadowing the music itself?
Sometimes, yeah. But a great video can also elevate a song and give it a whole new dimension.
What about the impact of social media? Everything's shorter and more visually arresting now.
That's true. Music videos have to compete for attention in a crowded digital landscape.
Do you think the art form is still relevant with the rise of streaming and short-form content?
I think so. It's a different landscape, but the power of visual storytelling paired with music is still strong.
The impact of film location on storytelling.
I just watched a movie where the setting felt like another character. Have you ever experienced that?
Absolutely. The right location can add so much to the atmosphere and emotional impact.
Like what? Give me an example.
Think about Lord of the Rings in New Zealand. The landscape is integral to the story.
Good point. It really enhanced the sense of epic scale and fantasy.
Or even a smaller film. A gritty urban setting can instantly convey a sense of struggle and despair.
So the location isn't just a backdrop. It actively contributes to the narrative?
Precisely. It influences the character's actions and the overall tone of the film.
The power of musical collaboration. Have you ever noticed how some of the best songs are collaborations between artists?
Definitely. It's like two creative forces combining to create something even bigger.
What's your favorite musical collaboration of all time?
That's tough. Probably Queen and David Bowie on Under Pressure. The blend of their voices is incredible.
Oh, that's a great one. I'm a big fan of Run DMC and Aerosmith on Walk This Way. It broke down so many barriers.
That's a classic. It really showed the power of crossing genres.
Do you think collaborations are more about commercial success or artistic expression?
I think it can be both. Sometimes it's a strategic move, but often it's a genuine desire to create something new and exciting.
Analyzing pop song formulas.
Have you ever noticed how many pop songs follow the same basic formula?
Definitely. Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. It's almost predictable.
Exactly. And the chord progressions are often very similar too. Why do you think it works so well?
I think it's about familiarity. People like what they know, and those structures are comforting.
That makes sense, but doesn't it get boring after a while?
It can, but the best artists find ways to put their own spin on it. Unique melodies, interesting lyrics, etc.
True. It's about working within the framework but still being creative.
Exactly. It's a fine line to walk.
Bands that should reunite.
If you could bring back any band for a reunion tour, who would it be? That's easy, Oasis. I'd love to see the Gallagher brothers on stage together again, even if it's just one last time. Oasis would be epic. The energy would be insane. What about someone a little less obvious? Maybe REM. Michael Stipe's voice is so unique, and their music is timeless. REM is a great choice. They had such a distinct sound. My pick would be Talking Heads. Talking Heads? Yes! David Byrne's stage presence is legendary. I bet that would be an amazing show. It would be incredible. The costumes, the music, pure art. A girl can dream. Absolutely. Let's start a petition.
Music scenes we wish we'd experienced.
If you could travel back in time and experience any music scene, which one would you choose?
Definitely the Greenwich Village folk scene in the 1960s. Imagine seeing Bob Dylan and Joan Baez in those small clubs.
Oh man, that would be incredible. The energy must have been electric. What about something a bit different?
Maybe the early days of punk rock in London. The Sex Pistols, The Clash. So raw and rebellious.
That's a great choice. I'm tempted to say the birth of hip-hop in the Bronx in the 70s.
Oh yeah, the block parties, the DJ battles. That would have been amazing to witness firsthand.
Absolutely. To see the roots of such a massive cultural movement. What a time to be alive.
Definitely. Each scene has its own unique charm. The art of the music mashup.
Have you heard any good mashups lately? I find them fascinating when done well.
Absolutely. The best ones take completely different genres and create something new and interesting.
Exactly. It's more than just slapping two songs together. It's about finding the common thread.
I agree. Bad ones are just jarring. Do you have any favorite mashup artists?
Girl Talk is a classic, but I've been enjoying some lesser-known artists on SoundCloud. What about you?
I'm a fan of the White Panda. They have some really clever combinations. The key is the seamless transition.
Agreed. It needs to flow organically. I'll check out the White Panda, thanks.
The best movie world to live in.
If you could live in any movie world, which one would you choose?
That's a tough one. So many cool options. I'd probably pick the world of Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away.
Oh, interesting. Why that one?
The magic, the food, the bathhouse. It's just so enchanting. What about you?
I'm torn. Maybe the world of Paddington. It seems so warm and welcoming.
Paddington is a good choice. London looks so charming in those movies.
Exactly. Plus, I'd get to eat marmalade sandwiches all day.
Ha! Good point. No bad choices, really. The Comeback Album.
Did you hear about Artist Name's new album? It's being called a comeback after all these years.
Oh yeah! I saw some buzz about it. I was a big fan back in the day. Is it any good?
I'm cautiously optimistic. It's definitely a different sound, but there are hints of their old style.
That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want them to completely reinvent themselves, just evolve.
Right? It's a tough balance. Some critics are praising the new direction, others are saying it's lost its edge.
Well, I guess I'll have to give it a listen and form my own opinion. What's your initial impression?
It's growing on me. Give it a few listens. There are some real gems hidden in there.
All right, I'm adding it to my queue. Thanks for the heads up.
The most misunderstood movie character.
Who do you think is the most misunderstood movie character of all time? That's a good question. I'd say Severus Snape from the Harry Potter series. People often see him as just a villain. Yeah, but he had a complicated backstory and ultimately did a lot of good. Exactly. He was driven by love and loyalty, even if his methods were questionable. What about you? I think maybe misunderstood is Frankenstein's monster. He was created and abandoned and acted out of loneliness. Oh, that's a really good point. He was a victim of circumstance more than anything else. Precisely. People judge him based on his appearance, not his actions. It's a classic example of judging a book by its cover.
The most unnecessary movie remake.
What's the most unnecessary movie remake you've ever seen?
Oh man, there are so many contenders. I think the remake of Psycho was completely pointless.
Agreed. It was almost a shot-for-shot remake, but without the charm of the original.
Exactly. What was the point? What about you? Any remakes that made you cringe?
The Total Recall remake was pretty bad. It completely missed the satirical edge of the original.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. They just made it a generic action movie.
Exactly. Some movies should just be left alone.
I agree. They should focus on original stories instead.
The perfect movie snack.
What's your go-to movie snack? I'm trying to decide what to get for tonight. Classic popcorn is always a winner, but it depends on the movie. What are you watching? I'm thinking of watching a suspenseful thriller. Ooh, then maybe something savory like pretzels, or even some dark chocolate to add to the tension. Dark chocolate is a great idea. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, it's a bit more sophisticated than popcorn for a thriller. What about drinks? Probably just water, or maybe some sparkling cider. Keep it simple. Sounds perfect. Enjoy the movie.
The underrated TV theme song. You know what I was thinking about the other day? Underrated TV theme songs.
Oh, that's a good one. There are so many iconic ones. But what about the ones that are actually good but forgotten?
Exactly. I always loved the theme song for V Show Name. It was so catchy and set the perfect tone.
I don't remember that one. What genre was it?
It was kind of a jazzy instrumental piece. Really unique. What's your pick for an underrated theme?
I always thought the theme from Another TV Show Name was great. It was simple, but really effective.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. It's amazing how much a theme song can contribute to a show's identity.
Totally. It's like a little musical signature.
Analyzing a recent album release. Have you listened to the new Billie Eilish album yet?
Yeah, I gave it a few spins. What did you think?
I thought it was a bit of a departure from her previous work. More mature, maybe?
Definitely. I noticed a shift in the lyrical themes, a lot more introspective.
I agree. Musically, I found it less experimental, but more polished.
I actually preferred the rawness of her earlier stuff, but I can appreciate the growth.
Fair enough. Which track stood out to you the most?
Probably Happier Than Ever. That song is a masterpiece. What about you?
Debating remakes and reboots.
They're remaking The Princess Bride. What do you think?
Seriously? Ugh, why? Some things are sacred.
I know, right? But sometimes a remake can be good, right? Like The Departed?
That's different. That was an adaptation of a foreign film. A direct remake rarely works.
What about Little Women? There have been so many versions, and some are great.
Okay, that's a fair point. Maybe it depends on the source material.
Exactly, and the vision of the director. But mostly leave classics alone.
I couldn't agree more. Some stories should just be left as they are.
Discussing the latest TV series Craze. Have you seen Squid Game yet? Everyone's talking about it.
I've heard of it. Is it really worth the hype?
Definitely. It's super suspenseful and the visuals are stunning.
I'm not usually into violent shows, though.
It is violent, but it's also a really interesting social commentary.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a try. Is it dubbed or subbed?
You can watch it either way. I preferred the subtitles, though.
Good to know. I might just check it out this weekend. The allure of true crime.
Why do you think true crime is so popular right now? I think it's a mix of things. People are fascinated by the macabre and also enjoy solving mysteries. Yeah, the puzzle aspect is definitely part of it, and the storytelling can be really compelling. I also think it's a way to explore the darker side of human nature from a safe distance. That's a good point. It's almost like a form of morbid curiosity. But sometimes it feels exploitative, especially when it focuses on the victims. Definitely. It's important to be mindful of that when consuming true crime content. Agreed. There's a fine line between entertainment and disrespect.
The enduring appeal of superhero movies. Why do you think superhero movies are still so popular after all these years?
I think it's the escapism. People love seeing heroes overcome impossible odds.
Yeah, and the special effects are always so impressive.
Plus, they're often packed with action and humor, which makes them really entertaining.
But some people complain that they're all the same. Do you agree?
Some of them can feel formulaic, but others try to do something different with the genre.
Like Joker, that was definitely a different kind of superhero movie.
Exactly. It's good when they try to subvert expectations.
The ethics of AI in music.
What do you think about AI creating music? It's fascinating, but also a little unsettling. Where do we draw the line? Yeah, is it really art if it's created by an algorithm? I think it depends on how it's used. As a tool for human artists, it could be amazing. But if AI starts replacing human musicians entirely, that's a problem. What about copyright? Who owns the rights to a song created by AI? That's a really complicated question. It's definitely going to be a legal battleground. It's a brave new world, that's for sure. We'll have to see how it all plays out.
The impact of music streaming on artists.
How do you think music streaming has affected artists' careers?
It's a mixed bag. On one hand, it's easier for artists to reach a wider audience.
But on the other hand, the royalties they receive from streaming are often very low.
Yeah, it's hard for independent artists to make a living solely from streaming revenue.
I think it's also changed the way people consume music. Albums are less important now.
Definitely. People are more likely to listen to individual tracks on playlists.
Artists have to focus on creating catchy singles to get noticed.
It's a different landscape than it used to be, that's for sure.
The power of nostalgia in entertainment.
Why are reboots and revivals so popular these days? Nostalgia is a powerful force. People love revisiting things from their childhood. Yeah, it's comforting to reconnect with familiar characters and stories, but sometimes it feels like they're just cashing in on our memories. True. A lot of reboots don't live up to the original. I think it's important to strike a balance between nostalgia and originality. Yeah, they need to offer something new, while still respecting the source material. Otherwise, it just feels like a cheap imitation.
The state of modern pop music.
What do you think of pop music these days? Does anything stand out?
Honestly, it feels a bit formulaic. Lots of the same beats and themes.
I agree. It's hard to find something truly original. Everything sounds so similar.
Auto-tune is way overused, and the lyrics are often pretty shallow.
But there are exceptions, right? Like, some artists are experimenting with different sounds.
True, I appreciate when artists try to push boundaries. It's just rare.
Maybe the focus is more on creating catchy hooks than meaningful songs.
Probably. It's all about what sells, unfortunately.
Video game storytelling.
Do you think video game storytelling has improved over the years?
Absolutely. Some games have narratives that rival movies or books now.
Yeah, the writing and character development are getting so much better.
And the interactive element adds a whole new dimension to the story.
It's cool how your choices can actually impact the outcome of the game.
I also appreciate when games tackle complex themes and mature subjects.
Have you played The Last of Us? That's a perfect example of great storytelling.
Oh yeah, that game is a masterpiece. The characters are so well developed.
A movie that changed your perspective.
Has there ever been a movie that really changed your perspective on something?
Definitely Schindler's List. It was incredibly impactful.
That's a powerful one. For me, it was Parasite.
Oh, interesting. How so?
It really made me think about social inequality and the lengths people will go to for survival.
Yeah, it's a pretty brutal commentary on class differences.
It's amazing how a film can make you question your own assumptions and biases.
A song that always makes you cry.
Is there a song that always makes you tear up no matter what?
Oh, definitely. Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen gets me every time.
Such a powerful song. For me, it's Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh yeah, that's a tearjerker for sure. The lyrics are so poignant.
It's something about the vulnerability in their voices that just hits me hard.
Music has such a strong connection to our emotions, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It can unlock memories and feelings you didn't even realize you had.
Analyzing reality TV editing.
Did you see that editing trick on the latest episode of Island Survival?
Which one? They're always manipulating the narrative.
The way they cut between Sarah's smile and John's upset face after she won the challenge was brutal.
Totally. It made it seem like she was gloating, even if she wasn't.
Exactly. It really affects how you perceive the contestants.
It's clever, but also kind of manipulative. Makes you wonder what's actually happening.
Yeah, you have to take everything with a grain of salt. It's all about creating drama.
Bands you wish more people knew about.
What's a band you wish more people knew about?
Definitely Kroong Bean. Their instrumental music is so unique and groovy.
I haven't heard of them. I'll have to check them out. I'd say the Beths.
Oh, I've heard of them. Catchy indie pop, right?
Yeah, they're amazing. Their songwriting is so clever and the energy is infectious.
It's always cool to discover those hidden gems that deserve more recognition.
Exactly. Sharing music is one of my favorite things.
Debating album length.
This new album is great, but it's way too long. 18 tracks is overkill.
I disagree. I think the length allows the artist to really explore different sounds and themes.
But doesn't it get repetitive? I find myself skipping tracks halfway through.
Maybe for some people, but I appreciate the depth and complexity. It's like a journey.
I guess it depends on the artist. Some albums need to be concise and impactful.
True. A shorter, punchier album can definitely be more memorable.
Ultimately, it's about quality over quantity, right?
Exactly. But a long album can be great if it maintains a high level of quality throughout.
Movie character we identify with. I really identified with the main character in Lost in Translation.
Oh, yeah? What resonated with you?
Just that feeling of being a bit lost and out of place, even when surrounded by people.
I can see that. I felt that way watching The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Definitely. That awkwardness and trying to find your place is so relatable.
It's cool when a movie captures those universal feelings so well.
It makes you feel less alone, you know? The best opening scene in a movie.
For me, the opening scene of Inglourious Basterds is perfection.
The tension is palpable. The dialogue is so sharp and deliberate.
It immediately sets the tone for the entire movie. You know you're in for something intense.
I always think of the opening of The Dark Knight.
The bank robbery? That's a great one, too. So chaotic and well executed.
It just throws you right into the action and introduces the Joker perfectly.
It's amazing how a strong opening can hook you from the very first minute. The funniest movie quote. What's the funniest movie quote you can think of off the top of your head?
Definitely. I'm serious and don't call me Shirley from Airplane.
Oh man, classic. The delivery is just perfect.
Or maybe nobody puts baby in a corner from Dirty Dancing.
That's more iconic than funny, I think. How about he's not the Messiah, he's a very naughty boy, from Life of Brian.
Haha, perfect. Monty Python always delivers.
It's amazing how some lines just stick with you forever. The most underrated actor/actress. Who do you think is the most underrated actor or actress working today?
I think Oscar Isaac doesn't get nearly enough credit. He's so versatile.
Oh, I agree. He's fantastic. I'd say Naomi Watts is seriously underrated.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She can play such a wide range of characters.
She always brings a subtle intensity to her roles that I really appreciate.
It's a shame when talented performers don't get the recognition they deserve.
Hopefully, they'll get their due eventually. TV show that ended too soon.
I'm still bitter that Firefly got canceled after only one season. Oh man, tell me about it. Such a great show with so much potential. The characters were amazing. The world building was incredible. It's a crime. I know! What about My So-Called Life? That show was groundbreaking. Totally. They were just starting to explore so many interesting themes. It's frustrating when networks don't give shows a chance to find their audience. Yeah, now we're left wondering what could have been.
The allure of true crime entertainment. Why do you think true crime is so popular right now?
I think it's a combination of things. Part of it is the mystery and trying to understand the why behind the crime.
Yeah, the puzzle aspect is definitely appealing, but it can also be a bit morbid, right?
It can be. But I also think it's about learning about the justice system and how it works or doesn't work.
That's a good point. And some of these stories are just so unbelievable, it's hard to look away.
Totally. Plus, there's often a sense of wanting justice for the victims.
True. It's a complex genre, for sure.
Definitely something to consume responsibly.
The art of creating immersive video game worlds.
What makes a video game world truly immersive for you?
For me, it's all about the details. Consistent world building, believable characters, and a sense of history.
Yeah, the lore is important. If the world feels lived in, it's easier to get invested.
Absolutely. And the environmental storytelling. You should be able to learn about the world just by exploring it.
What are some games that you think do this really well?
Witcher 3 Feet is a masterpiece of world building. Every side quest feels meaningful and connected to the larger world.
Definitely. The choices you make actually have consequences. That makes a huge difference.
Totally. It's about creating a world that feels alive and reactive. The best use of a song in a movie scene.
Okay, what's the best song placement in a movie you can think of?
That's tough, but I always come back to Where Is My Mind in Fight Club. Perfect ending.
Oh yeah, iconic. The Pixies just nailed the feeling of chaos and acceptance. Anything else?
Maybe Tiny Dancer in Almost Famous. The whole bus singing along is just so uplifting.
Definitely. Captures the band camaraderie perfectly. It's amazing how a song can elevate a scene.
Totally. It's not just background music, it becomes part of the narrative.
Agreed. Good music supervision is an art form. The charm of stop-motion animation.
Have you seen any good animated movies lately?
I just rewatched Coraline. I forgot how much I love stop motion.
Oh man, Coraline is amazing. The detail and effort that goes into each frame is incredible.
Right? It's so much more tangible and unique than CGI. It has a certain charm.
Definitely. There's a handcrafted quality that you just don't get with computer animation.
Exactly. It feels more personal somehow. What other stop-motion movies do you like?
I'm a big fan of anything by Aardman, like Wallace and Gromit or Chicken Run.
Oh, those are classics. The humor is fantastic. The impact of streaming on independent films.
Do you think streaming services have helped or hurt independent films?
I think it's mostly helped. It's given them a much wider audience than they would have had otherwise.
That's true. It's easier than ever to discover indie films now.
Exactly, but it also means they're competing with a lot more content, so it's harder to stand out.
That's a good point. It's a double-edged sword. What's the last indie film you saw on a streaming service?
I watched Shiva Baby on HBO Max. It was really well done, and I probably wouldn't have seen it otherwise.
I'll have to check that out. Streaming has definitely democratized film distribution to some extent.
Agreed. It's a great platform for showcasing diverse voices and stories.
The merits of different gaming consoles.
So, are you a PlayStation or Xbox person? I've always been PlayStation, honestly. I love their exclusive titles like Spider-Man and God of War. Fair enough. Xbox has Game Pass, though, which is an insane value for the amount of games you get. That's true, Game Pass is tempting. But I also really like the PlayStation controller. Yeah, the controller is comfortable. It really comes down to personal preference and exclusive games, doesn't it? Exactly. And maybe what your friends are playing. Good point. Community definitely plays a role. Ultimately, they're both great consoles.
The nostalgia factor in TV reboots.
What do you think about all these TV reboots happening lately?
It's a mixed bag for me. Some are great, but others just feel like a cash grab.
Yeah, the nostalgia factor is strong, but sometimes they just don't capture the magic of the original.
Exactly, it's hard to recapture that feeling. What's been your favorite reboot so far?
I actually enjoyed the One Day at a Time reboot. It was funny and tackled important issues.
Oh, I've heard good things about that one. I'm always wary going in, though.
Me too. It's a risk. But sometimes they can surprise you in a good way.
Hopefully, more reboots will try to bring something new to the table.
The power of musical scores in setting a scene. Do you ever pay attention to movie scores?
Definitely. A good score can make or break a scene. Think about the Jaws theme.
Oh man, that's a perfect example. Instant tension. What about more subtle scores?
The score for Interstellar is incredible. It's so grand and emotional.
Hans Zimmer is a genius. It really amplified the feeling of space and the human connection.
Agreed. It's amazing how music can convey emotions that words can't.
Absolutely. A great score becomes almost like another character in the film.
It elevates the storytelling to another level.
The rise of K-pop's global influence.
Have you noticed how huge K-pop has become?
Absolutely. It's everywhere. BTS and Blackpink are global superstars.
It's more than just the music, though, isn't it? It's the whole package. The choreography, the visuals, the fan culture.
Definitely. They've mastered the art of creating a complete entertainment experience.
The fans are incredibly dedicated. They're a real force.
They are. It's interesting how they've managed to break into the Western market so successfully.
I think it's a combination of catchy music, strong visuals, and a very active fan base.
Agreed. It'll be interesting to see how K-pop continues to evolve.
The role of special effects in storytelling.
How important do you think special effects are to a good movie? They can be crucial, but only if they serve the story. If they're just there for spectacle, it's a waste. I agree. The best special effects are the ones you don't even notice because they're so seamless. Exactly. They should enhance the world and the characters, not distract from them. What's a movie where you think the special effects were particularly well done? I think Arrival used special effects brilliantly to create a sense of wonder and mystery. Oh yeah, that's a great example. They weren't flashy, but they were incredibly effective in conveying the alien presence. Definitely. It's all about using the effects to tell a better story.
The best concert venue.
What's the best concert venue you've ever been to, considering sound, atmosphere, and overall experience?
For me, it's Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. It's just magical.
Red Rocks is legendary. I've only seen pictures. What makes it so special?
The natural acoustics are incredible, and the setting is breathtaking. Being surrounded by those massive red rock formations while listening to music is an unforgettable experience.
That sounds amazing. I can imagine. Have you seen any other venues that come close?
The Hollywood Bowl is pretty great too, especially on a warm summer night, but Red Rocks is in a league of its own.
I'll definitely have to add it to my bucket list.
The best decade for music.
If you had to pick the best decade for music, which one would it be?
For me, it's the 1970s. So much innovation and diversity in genres like rock, funk, disco, and punk.
The 70s were definitely a golden age. What specifically do you love about the music from that era?
The experimentation, the musicianship, and the sheer energy. Bands were pushing boundaries and creating timeless classics.
I agree. There was a real sense of freedom and creativity. What about the 80s? Some people would argue for that decade.
The 80s had some great pop and new wave, but I think the 70s were more groundbreaking overall. Plus, the fashion was questionable.
Haha, fair enough. The 70s definitely had a unique style.
The best movie score of all time.
If you had to pick one movie score as the absolute best, what would it be?
That's tough, but I'd probably go with Ennio Morricone's score for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's iconic.
That's a great choice. The main theme is instantly recognizable. What makes it so good, in your opinion?
The way it captures the atmosphere of the film, the vastness, the tension, the grit. It's almost another character in the story.
I agree, it's incredibly evocative. Are there any other scores that come close for you?
Hans Zimmer's Inception score is phenomenal, and John Williams' work on Jurassic Park is pure magic.
Definitely. I think those are all top contenders.
The best TV show finale ever.
What TV show finale do you think nailed it the most? For me, it's got to be 6 Feet Under. It was emotionally Devastating, but incredibly satisfying. Oh, that's a good one. I remember crying for days after that. What made it so perfect? The flash forwards showing each character's death. It was a beautiful and poignant way to end the series. Absolutely. It gave closure, but also made you think about life and death. Any other contenders? The Breaking Bad finale was pretty great, too. It wrapped up all the loose ends in a suspenseful and satisfying way. Agreed. It was a masterclass in storytelling. Some shows really dropped the ball at the end, though.
The future of movie theaters.
With streaming becoming so dominant, what do you think the future holds for movie theaters?
That's a good question. I think theaters will need to offer something that streaming can't replicate. A truly immersive and social experience.
Like what? More comfortable seating and better food?
Definitely, but also things like larger screens, better sound systems, and maybe even interactive elements, and special events like Q&As with filmmakers.
So more of a premium experience? That makes sense. Do you think smaller, independent theaters will survive?
I hope so. They often offer a more curated selection of films and a more intimate atmosphere. But they'll need to find ways to stand out too.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
The most anticipated album release. Is there any album coming out soon that you're really excited about?
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to the new Kendrick Lamar album. He's such a brilliant lyricist.
Oh yeah, I've heard rumors about that. What makes you so hyped for it?
His albums are always so thought-provoking and innovative. He's not afraid to tackle complex issues and push the boundaries of hip-hop.
That's true. He's a true artist. When is it supposed to drop?
There's no official release date yet, but hopefully it'll be soon. The anticipation is killing me.
I know the feeling. I'll keep an eye out for it too.
The most improved actor.
Which actor do you think has shown the most improvement over their career?
I'd say Matthew McConaughey. He started out in rom-coms, but then he completely reinvented himself and started taking on more challenging roles.
That's a great example. The reconnaissance was real. What do you think was the turning point?
Probably Dallas Buyers Club. He lost a ton of weight and gave an incredible performance. It showed everyone he was capable of so much more.
Absolutely. He really committed to that role. Are there any other actors who come to mind?
Maybe Kristen Stewart. She's really come into her own since Twilight and is now doing some really interesting indie films.
Good call. She's definitely proving her talent.
The most overrated musician.
Okay, controversial question. Who do you think is the most overrated musician of all time?
Wow, that's a tough one. I'd have to say, maybe Nickelback. They were huge, but I never understood the appeal.
Interesting choice. A lot of people feel that way. What specifically don't you like about their music?
It just feels very generic and formulaic to me. The lyrics are often cliché, and the music lacks originality.
I can see that. I think their success was partly due to being in the right place at the right time. Who else comes to mind?
Maybe some of the boy bands from the late 90s and early 2000s. They were manufactured pop stars, not necessarily talented musicians.
True, but they provided a lot of entertainment for their fans. It's all subjective, I guess. The most underrated TV show.
What's a TV show you think deserves way more recognition?
I'd say The Leftovers. It was on HBO a few years ago, and it was brilliant but never really got the attention it deserved.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. What's it about?
It's about the aftermath of a global event, where 2% of the world's population mysteriously disappears. It deals with grief, faith, and the search for meaning.
That sounds intriguing. What makes it so underrated?
It's quite heavy and philosophical, which might have turned some people off. But the acting, writing, and direction are all top-notch.
I'll have to add it to my watch list. Thanks for the recommendation.
Resurgence of vinyl records.
I've noticed a lot of people are getting into vinyl records again. What do you think is driving that?
I think it's the tangible experience. Streaming is convenient, but vinyl offers a more immersive and deliberate way to listen to music.
That makes sense. I've heard the sound quality is better too, but is it really that noticeable?
It depends on the setup, but a good turntable and speakers can definitely deliver a warmer, richer sound. Plus, the artwork is great.
Yeah, the album art is definitely part of the appeal. Are you a collector yourself?
I am a small one. Mostly older albums I love and some newer releases on vinyl. It's a fun hobby.
I might have to give it a try. It sounds like a cool way to appreciate music. Behind-the-scenes movie magic.
I was watching a making-of documentary the other day, and it's incredible how much work goes into even seemingly simple movie scenes.
Oh, tell me about it. I love seeing the behind-the-scenes stuff. it really makes you appreciate the final product more.
Like the amount of time and effort spent on set design, lighting, and special effects is mind-blowing.
And the planning, storyboarding, pre-visualization, it's all so meticulous.
Definitely. And don't forget the post-production, editing, sound design, color correction. It's a whole other world.
It's a collaborative art form, for sure. So many talented people working together to bring a vision to life.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder how they ever managed to get anything done. Exploring world music.
Have you ever really delved into world music? I've been listening to a lot of Tuareg guitar music lately. World music? Not really, it sounds interesting though. What's Tuareg guitar music like? It's desert blues, often with hypnotic rhythms and soulful vocals. Think electric guitars mixed with traditional African instruments. That sounds pretty cool. Any artists you'd recommend to start with? Definitely Tenariwen. They're probably the most well-known. Or Bombino. He's a fantastic guitarist. I'll have to check them out. I'm always looking for something new to listen to. Let me know what you think. It's a whole different world of music out there.
The appeal of limited series.
I'm really enjoying the rise of limited series. They're like long movies, but with more character development.
I agree. It's nice to have a complete story arc within a few episodes instead of dragging things out for multiple seasons.
And the writing is often much tighter. They don't have to worry about filling time with filler episodes.
Plus, they attract big-name actors who might not commit to a longer TV series.
That's a good point. It allows for higher production values and more ambitious storytelling.
Do you think limited series are replacing traditional TV shows, or are they just a different format?
I think they're a complement to traditional TV shows. Sometimes you want a long-term commitment, and sometimes you just want a quick, satisfying story. The art of stand-up comedy.
I saw a great stand-up comedian last night. It's amazing how they can make people laugh so effortlessly.
I agree. It's a real art form. Do you think it's harder than acting?
In some ways, yes. They're completely exposed, relying only on their wit and timing, no script to hide behind.
That's true. Plus, they have to constantly adapt to the audience's reaction. A tough crowd can kill a set.
Exactly, it's a high-pressure environment. Who are some of your favorite comedians?
I'm a big fan of John Mulaney. His storytelling is brilliant. What about you?
I love Maria Bamford. Her observational humor is spot on, and she's incredibly brave with her material.
I'll have to check her out. Thanks for the recommendation.
The ethics of AI in music creation.
What do you think about AI creating music? It's getting pretty sophisticated.
It's fascinating and a little unsettling. On one hand, it could open up new creative avenues. On the other, what does it mean for human artists?
That's my concern. If AI can generate music that's indistinguishable from human-created music, will artists be able to compete?
And what about copyright? Who owns the rights to a song created by AI? The programmer? The user who prompted it?
It's a legal and ethical minefield. And what about the artistic value? Can AI truly express emotion through music? Or is it just mimicking patterns?
I think it's more about mimicking patterns right now, but it's learning fast. Maybe one day AI will be able to create truly original and meaningful music.
I hope it enhances human creativity rather than replacing it. It would be a shame to lose the human element in music.
The evolution of music videos.
Remember when music videos were a asterisk huge deal? Like waiting all day for your favorite video to premiere on MTV?
Totally, that was a defining part of the culture. Now it's all short-form content on TikTok.
It's crazy how much they've changed. From simple performance videos to mini-movies with elaborate storylines.
Yeah, and the budgets. Some of those 90s videos were insanely expensive.
Now it's more about viral potential and creating shareable content. The focus has shifted.
Do you think music videos are still relevant, or have they been replaced by other forms of media?
I think they're still relevant, but they serve a different purpose now. It's more about building a brand and engaging with fans.
Good point. They are definitely still a key visual tool for artists.
The impact of fandoms on entertainment.
Fandoms are such a powerful force in entertainment these days. They can make or break a movie or TV show.
Absolutely. They're incredibly passionate and vocal. Studios and networks definitely pay attention to what they say.
Sometimes it feels like they have too much influence. The constant demands and expectations can be overwhelming.
True, and it can lead to toxic behavior. The pressure to conform to the fandom's expectations can stifle creativity.
But on the other hand, fandoms can also be incredibly supportive and create a sense of community. They can help spread the word about a hidden gem.
Yeah, and they can be a great source of feedback for creators. They can point out plot holes or suggest interesting directions for the story.
It's a delicate balance. Creators need to listen to their fans, but they also need to stay true to their own vision.
The influence of video games on film.
Have you noticed how much video games are influencing movies these days? The action sequences, the visual style. Definitely. It's a two-way street, really. Movies influence video games, and now it's coming back around. I'm thinking about the way action is choreographed, too. It feels like a lot of films are trying to replicate the feel of playing a video game. Yeah, the fast cuts, the over-the-shoulder camera angles, it's all very familiar to gamers. And the narratives. Many movies are adopting video game-style storytelling with clear objectives and level-like progression. True, but sometimes those adaptations don't quite work. It's hard to translate the interactive experience of a game to a passive viewing experience. That's a good point. The best adaptations are the ones that capture the spirit of the game, not just the plot.
The power of live music.
There's just something magical about seeing live music, isn't there? The energy is palpable.
Absolutely. It's a completely different experience than listening to a recording. The connection with the artist is so much stronger.
Yeah, and the spontaneity. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe they'll play a rare track or improvise a solo.
Or tell a funny story. I love those little moments that make each show unique.
And the shared experience with the crowd. Singing along with thousands of other people is pretty amazing.
Totally. It's like a collective catharsis. Have you been to any good shows lately?
I saw a local band play last weekend. It wasn't a huge venue, but the energy was incredible.
The resurgence of physical media. I've been buying CDs again lately. It's funny how physical media is making a bit of a comeback.
I know. I never stop buying vinyl. There's just something special about holding the actual album.
It's more than just nostalgia, I think. Streaming is convenient, but it lacks that tangible connection to the music.
Totally agree. And the sound quality. A well-mastered vinyl record or CD can sound so much better than a compressed streaming file.
Plus, you own it. With streaming, you're basically renting the music. What happens if the service goes down or removes an album?
Exactly. And the artwork. Album covers are a lost art form. You don't get the same experience with a tiny thumbnail on your phone.
It's a more mindful way of listening, too. You're more likely to sit down and really focus on the music when you're putting on a record.
Celebrity encounters. Real or imagined.
If you could have a conversation with any celebrity, living or dead, who would it be?
Oh, without a doubt, David Bowie. I'd love to hear his perspective on creativity and life.
That's a fantastic choice. I think I'd pick Maya Angelou. Her wisdom is timeless.
Imagine the stories she could tell. What would you ask her?
I'd ask her about overcoming adversity and finding your voice. What about Bowie?
I'd want to know about his creative process and how he managed to stay so innovative for so long.
These are some dream conversations.
Favorite fictional worlds.
If you could live in any fictional world from a book, movie, or game, where would you choose?
Hogwarts, definitely. Magic, adventure, and great food. What about you?
Ooh, tempting. I'd probably go with Middle-earth. The landscapes are breathtaking.
That's a good one, though the constant threat of orcs might be a bit stressful.
True. But imagine the hiking. Plus, the elves seem pretty chill.
Fair point. I guess every fictional world has its downsides.
Exactly. But the escapism is what makes them so appealing.
So true. I'm ready to pack my bags for Hogwarts.
Foreign film recommendations.
Have you seen any good foreign films lately?
I recently watched Parasite and was completely blown away. Have you seen it?
Yes, what a masterpiece. I'd recommend Amelie if you haven't seen it. It's charming and whimsical.
I've heard great things. What's it about?
A young woman in Paris decides to dedicate her life to bringing happiness to others.
Sounds delightful. I'm always looking for good foreign film recommendations. What do you look for in a foreign film?
A compelling story, great acting, and a unique perspective on a different culture.
I agree. It's a great way to broaden your horizons.
Forgotten TV show gems.
What's a TV show that you loved that seems to have been completely forgotten by everyone else?
Freaks and Geeks. It was so good, but no one ever talks about it.
Yes, such a great show. I'd say Wonderfalls. It was quirky and hilarious.
I've never heard of that one. What was it about?
A Niagara Falls gift shop worker who starts hearing voices from inanimate objects telling her what to do.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I'll have to check it out. Why do you think some shows get forgotten?
Bad timing, poor marketing, or maybe just not enough initial viewers to build momentum.
Movie character wardrobes we envy.
Which movie character has the best wardrobe, in your opinion?
That's easy. Holly Golightly from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Timeless elegance.
A classic. I've always admired Diane Keaton's style in Annie Hall. So effortlessly cool.
Yes, I love that menswear-inspired look. What makes a good movie wardrobe, anyway?
It has to be authentic to the character and the story. It should tell you something about them.
Agreed. And it should be memorable, even iconic, like Dorothy's ruby slippers.
Exactly. A great wardrobe can elevate a movie.
Musical instrument dreams.
If you could master any musical instrument instantly, what would it be? That's a tough one. Probably the cello. The sound is so rich and emotive. Good choice. I've always been drawn to the drums. The energy is infectious. I can see that. Do you have any musical experience now? I dabbled with guitar in high school, but never got very good. You? I took piano lessons for years as a kid, but I'm incredibly rusty now. Maybe we should start a band. A rusty pianist and a dabbling guitarist. Haha, I'm in. As long as we can find a decent cellist and drummer.
Overrated entertainment trends.
What's a current entertainment trend that you think is totally overrated?
Probably those overly dramatic reality TV shows. So much manufactured drama.
I agree. I'm also getting tired of superhero movies. There are just so many now.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Though I do enjoy some of them. What makes something overrated, in your opinion?
When the hype doesn't match the actual quality. Or when it becomes repetitive.
Good point. It's like everyone's just jumping on the bandwagon without really thinking about it.
Precisely. And then we all get tired of it eventually. The best movie plot twist.
What's the most mind-blowing movie plot twist you've ever seen? Oh man, that's hard. Probably The Sixth Sense. I did not see that coming. Classic. I'd have to say The Usual Suspects. Keyser Söze. Genius. Definitely a great one. What makes a good plot twist, in your opinion? It has to be earned, I think. Not just some random thing thrown in at the end. Agreed. It needs to make sense in retrospect, even if it's surprising. Exactly. It should recontextualize everything you've seen before.
The perfect playlist for...
What would be on your perfect playlist for a long road trip?
Definitely some classic rock. Like Fleetwood Mac and the Eagles. Gotta have some sing-along tunes.
Good choices. I'd add some indie folk, like Bon Iver and Lord Huron, for those scenic moments.
Ooh, nice! And maybe some upbeat pop to keep the energy up? Like Lizzo or Harry Styles?
Absolutely. A good mix is key. What about some throwbacks, like 90s hip-hop?
Yes! Definitely some Biggie and Tupac. Gotta have some variety.
Agreed. The perfect road trip playlist is a journey in itself.
The power of nostalgia in entertainment.
Why do you think nostalgia is so powerful in entertainment right now?
I think it's comforting. It takes us back to simpler times, or at least how we remember them.
That makes sense. It's like a warm blanket. Plus, it's familiar. We already know we like it.
Exactly. And it's a shared experience. We can connect with others over shared memories.
True. But is there a danger of relying too much on nostalgia? Of not creating anything new?
Definitely a risk. It's important to balance nostalgia with originality. Otherwise, we'll just keep rehashing the same old things.
Agreed. Nostalgia is great, but innovation is essential.
Analyzing song lyrics.
Have you ever really dissected the lyrics of a song and found a completely different meaning than you initially thought?
Absolutely. It's like unlocking a secret code. I remember thinking one song was a simple love song, but after reading an analysis, it was about overcoming addiction.
Wow, that's intense. I had a similar experience with a song by The Killers. I always thought it was about Las Vegas, but it's actually about existential dread.
That's so interesting. Do you think artists intentionally leave lyrics open to interpretation?
I think some do, definitely. It creates more engagement and longevity for the song, don't you think?
I agree. Ambiguity can be powerful. It allows listeners to connect with the song on a personal level, applying their own experiences and emotions.
Exactly. It's what makes music so universally appealing.
Debating cover songs.
What do you think makes a good cover song? Is it about staying true to the original or completely reinventing it?
That's a tough one. I think a good cover adds something new, a unique perspective, but it also needs to respect the essence of the original.
I agree. I hate it when a cover completely butchers a classic. There's a fine line between homage and sacrilege.
Right, like That slowed down version of Mad World was amazing, but some of the other ones are just no.
Totally. I think the artist's personal style has to mesh well with the song, otherwise it just feels forced.
And sometimes, a cover can actually bring more attention to the original artist, which is a win-win.
True. A good cover can introduce a classic song to a whole new generation.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance.
The appeal of cult classic films.
What do you think makes a movie a, quote, cult classic?
I think it's a combination of factors. Often it's a film that was initially misunderstood or flopped at the box office, but then found a dedicated following.
Yeah, like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's definitely not for everyone, but the fans are incredibly passionate.
Exactly. And sometimes it's a film that's so bad, it's good. Like The Room.
Haha, guilty pleasure. But I think cult classics also often have a unique vision or style that sets them apart.
Definitely. They're not afraid to be weird or unconventional. They create their own rules.
And the fans often feel like they're part of a special club. They get the jokes and appreciate the film on a deeper level.
Totally. It's more than just watching a movie. It's about being part of a community. The art of film editing.
Have you ever noticed how much film editing impacts a movie's pacing and emotional impact?
Definitely. It's like the invisible hand shaping the narrative. A well-edited scene can make or break a film.
I was watching a thriller the other day, and the editing was so choppy and frantic, it actually made me anxious.
That's the power of editing. Conversely, slow, deliberate cuts can create a sense of dread or suspense.
What about montages? Those are always a clear example of how editing can condense time and convey a lot of information quickly.
Good point. And the use of jump cuts or match cuts can be incredibly creative and visually engaging.
It's amazing how much thought and skill goes into something that most people don't even consciously notice.
Agreed. It's a true art form.
The best fictional band.
If you could see any fictional band from a movie or TV show perform live, who would it be? That's a fun question. I'd have to say Spinal Tap, just for the sheer chaos and absurdity of it all. Ha! Good choice! I was thinking maybe Stillwater from Almost Famous. Their music is actually really good. Oh yeah, Stillwater is a strong contender. Or what about the Blues Brothers? They're iconic. True! But imagine the logistics of a Blues Brothers concert these days. A bit tricky. What about Josie and the Pussycats? Okay, that's a fun, pop-infused choice. I think Stillwater's raw energy edges them out for me, though. Fair enough. It's all subjective, I guess. But the energy of a Stillwater show, I can almost feel it.
The best movie villain motivations.
What makes a movie villain truly compelling, in your opinion?
For me, it's all about the motivation. If I can understand why they're doing what they're doing, even if I don't agree with it, that makes them interesting.
Yeah, a villain who's just evil for the sake of being evil is pretty boring. Think of Thanos from the Avengers movies.
Exactly, he had a twisted logic, but you could see where he was coming from. What about someone like the Joker?
The Joker's motivations are more chaotic, but he's still fascinating. He wants to prove that everyone is capable of evil.
Right. A good villain challenges the hero and makes them question their own beliefs and values.
And sometimes, the villain even has a point. They're just going about it the wrong way.
Agreed. It's all about the complexity. A well-developed villain can be just as memorable as the hero.
The impact of award shows.
Do you think awards shows like the Oscars or the Grammys still matter? That's a good question. I think they've definitely lost some of their cultural relevance, but they still have an impact. How so? Do they actually influence what people watch or listen to? I think they can. A win or even a nomination can give a film or album a huge boost in visibility. True. But aren't they often criticized for being out of touch or politically motivated? Definitely. There's always controversy about who gets nominated and who wins, and the red carpet has become a spectacle of its own. Yeah, the focus seems to be more on the fashion and the celebrity drama than on the actual art. Exactly. Still, I'd be lying if I said I didn't get excited about seeing who wins.
The influence of technology on music production.
How do you think technology has changed music production, for better or worse?
Definitely both. On one hand, it's democratized the process. Anyone with a laptop can create music now.
That's true. But on the other hand, does it lead to a lot of homogeneous, overproduced music?
Potentially. The accessibility of tools can also lead to a lack of originality, maybe?
And the reliance on auto-tune? It's a crutch for some artists, isn't it?
Totally. But then again, it's also used creatively as an effect. It's all about how you use the technology.
True, it's a powerful tool, but it needs to be wielded responsibly, I guess.
Exactly. It's about finding the balance between technology and artistry.
The most memorable TV theme songs.
What's the first TV theme song that pops into your head when you think of memorable themes?
Probably the Friends theme song. It's so iconic and instantly recognizable.
Good one. For me, it's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme. I still know all the lyrics.
Classic. What makes a good theme song, do you think? Is it the catchiness, the lyrics, or something else?
I think it's a combination. It needs to be catchy, but it also needs to set the tone for the show and give you a sense of what it's about.
Yeah, like the Game of Thrones theme. It's epic and dramatic, perfectly reflecting the show's scale.
Exactly. Or the Addams Family theme. It's quirky and spooky, just like the show itself.
They really don't make them like that anymore, do they?
The power of sound design in film. I've been thinking about how important sound design is to a movie, but it's often overlooked.
Totally. A great soundscape can completely immerse you in the world and enhance the emotional impact.
Think about a horror movie. The creaking doors, the rustling leaves, it all builds suspense.
Exactly. Or even in a drama, the subtle sounds of the city or a quiet room can add so much realism.
What about those Wilhelm screams? Do you think they're overused, or are they a fun inside joke?
I think they're a fun nod to film history, as long as they're used sparingly and appropriately.
Agreed. It's all about the details. The sound design can really elevate a film from good to great. Finding new music.
I'm in a bit of a music rut. How do you usually discover new artists?
I use a combination of things: streaming service algorithms, recommendations from friends, and music blogs.
I rely heavily on Spotify's Discover Weekly, but it can get repetitive.
Yeah, try branching out and exploring curated playlists or genre-specific radio stations.
Good idea. I should also ask my friends for recommendations more often.
Definitely. Personal recommendations are often the best.
Thanks for the tips. Hopefully, I can break out of this rut. The appeal of indie films. I've been getting into indie films lately. There's something so unique about them.
I agree. They often take more risks and explore unconventional themes.
It feels like they have more artistic freedom, without studio interference.
Exactly. They're usually more character-driven than plot-driven, too.
And the acting often feels more raw and authentic.
Definitely. They often feature lesser-known actors who are incredibly talented.
Do you have any indie film recommendations? The art of cover songs.
I heard a really interesting cover song the other day. It made me think about what makes a good cover. It's tricky, right? You want to honor the original, but also bring something new to it. Exactly. It shouldn't just be a carbon copy. It needs its own unique spin. Sometimes a completely different genre can work really well. Yeah, like a punk version of a pop song or vice versa. Or a slower, more acoustic take on a high-energy track. It's all about finding a new angle and making it your own. Totally agree. A bad cover just feels lazy.
The changing landscape of TV.
It's amazing how much TV has changed over the years. There are so many quality shows now.
I know. It's definitely entered a golden age. The writing and production values are incredible.
Do you think streaming services are the main reason for this shift?
I think they've played a huge role. They allow for more creative freedom and risk-taking.
That's true. Networks used to be so cautious about what they aired.
Exactly. Now, niche shows can find an audience and thrive.
It's definitely a great time to be a TV fan.
Couldn't agree more. So many options, so little time. The craft of songwriting.
I've been trying to write a song, but I'm finding it difficult to start. Any tips?
Definitely. Do you usually start with lyrics or melody?
I've tried both, but neither seems to stick.
Maybe try focusing on a specific feeling or story you want to convey first. That can help guide you.
That's a good idea. So, think about the emotion before the notes.
Exactly. Or even a vivid image. Then the words and music might flow more naturally.
I'll give that a shot. Thanks for the advice.
The evolution of video game storytelling. Video game storylines have gotten so complex and engaging, it's like playing an interactive movie.
I know. The writing and character development are often on par with films and TV shows.
And the player gets to make choices that affect the narrative, which is so immersive.
Yeah, that sense of agency is a huge part of what makes them so compelling.
Do you think video games are becoming a more legitimate form of storytelling than other mediums?
I think they're just another form of storytelling with their own unique strengths and weaknesses.
That's a good way to put it. They definitely offer something different.
The impact of CGI on modern cinema.
The CGI in movies these days is incredible, but sometimes I wonder if it's being overused.
I agree. It can create amazing visuals, but it can also feel a bit artificial if it's not done well.
Do you think it's taking away from the artistry of practical effects?
In some ways, yes, but practical effects also have their limitations. It's a balance.
I guess the best films use a combination of both to create something truly believable.
Exactly. When CGI serves the story and enhances the visuals, it's fantastic.
But when it's just used for spectacle, it can feel empty.
Totally. It's about the story, not just the visuals.
The influence of music on culture. I was thinking about how music really shapes our culture and reflects our values.
Definitely. Music is a powerful tool for expression and social commentary.
Think about protest songs, for example. They can really mobilize people.
Exactly. And music can also create a sense of community and belonging.
Like with certain genres or subcultures that have their own distinct sound.
Right. And it's constantly evolving, reflecting the changing times.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. The power of visual storytelling in music videos. I've been rewatching some classic music videos, and it's amazing how much they can enhance a song.
Absolutely. A good music video isn't just visuals, it's a short film that complements the music.
Some videos tell a story completely separate from the lyrics, adding another layer of meaning.
Yeah, like they're creating a whole world around the song.
And the visuals can really stick with you, even years later.
Definitely. They can become iconic in their own right.
Do you have any favorite music videos that come to mind?
The role of music in film. I was watching a movie the other day, and the music just completely elevated the scene. It got me thinking about how crucial it is.
Absolutely. A good score can make or break a film. It sets the tone and amplifies the emotions.
Do you think some films are more reliant on their soundtracks than others?
Definitely. Think about silent films or movies with very little dialogue. The music becomes the primary storyteller.
That's a great point. And even in modern films, the right song can make a scene iconic.
Totally. It's a powerful tool when used effectively. Have you seen Baby Driver?
I have. The music was practically another character in the movie.
Discovering new artists through recommendations.
I'm in a music rut. Any new artists you've been listening to lately?
Definitely. Have you heard of Arlo Parks? She's got a really unique sound. Kind of indie pop with soulful lyrics.
Arlo Parks, huh? I'll check her out. What's one song of hers you'd recommend starting with?
Definitely Eugene. It's a great introduction to her style. What about you? Anything new you've found?
I recently stumbled upon this band called The Beths from New Zealand. Super catchy indie rock.
Oh, I think I've heard of them. Aren't they known for their really energetic live shows?
Yeah, I'd love to see them live sometime. Thanks for the Arlo Parks recommendation. I'm adding her to my queue now.
No problem. Let me know what you think. Always happy to share music discoveries. Exploring the world of ASMR entertainment.
Have you ever gotten into ASMR videos? I find them strangely relaxing.
I've heard of it, but I haven't really explored it. What kind of sounds trigger that feeling for you?
Whispering, tapping, crinkling sounds. It's hard to explain. It's like a tingling sensation on your scalp.
Interesting. It sounds almost meditative. Do you think it's a legitimate form of entertainment or just a trend?
I think it can be both. For some people, it's genuinely therapeutic. For others, it's just a novelty.
I guess it's similar to how some people find certain types of music relaxing. It's all subjective. What's your favorite ASMR channel?
I like gentle whispering ASMR. Maria's voice is very soothing. You should check it out. The art of creating a movie atmosphere.
I find myself really drawn into movies that create a strong atmosphere. What elements do you think contribute to that?
Definitely the cinematography and the music. The lighting, camera angles, and soundtrack can completely set the tone.
Absolutely. And the set design too. A well-designed set can transport you to another world. Think of Blade Runner.
Yes, that's a perfect example. The rain-soaked streets and neon lights create such a distinct atmosphere. What about sound design?
Crucial. Subtly adding ambient sounds can really enhance the sense of immersion. A quiet creak in a horror movie, for example.
Exactly. It's all about creating a sensory experience. What's a movie where you felt completely immersed in the atmosphere?
For me, it's Lost in Translation, Duff. The loneliness and alienation of Tokyo are palpable throughout the film.
The best movie character transformations.
I love seeing characters completely change throughout a movie. Who do you think had the best transformation on screen?
Ooh, that's a good one. I always think of Walter White from Breaking Bad. Even though it's a TV show, his transformation is incredible.
That's a great example. For a movie, I'd say Andy Dufresne in *The Shawshank Redemption. From wrongly convicted to hopeful escapee.
Yes! The quiet determination he shows is so inspiring. What makes a transformation compelling to you?
I think it's the believability. You have to understand why the character changes and root for them, even if they make questionable choices.
Agreed. It's about the journey, not just the destination. Going back to movies, what about Patrick Bateman in *American Psycho?
Interesting choice. Is it really a transformation, or more of a reveal of his true self? Food for thought.
The evolution of special effects in film.
It's amazing how far special effects in movies have come. What's a film that really blew you away with its effects at the time?
Definitely. Jurassic Park. Seeing those dinosaurs come to life was mind-blowing. It was a turning point for CGI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And before that, it was all about practical effects. Do you prefer practical effects over CGI?
It depends on the film. Practical effects can look more realistic and tangible, but CGI allows for things that are impossible otherwise.
That's true. I think the best effects are the ones you don't even notice. They just seamlessly enhance the story.
Agreed. When the effects become the focus, it can take you out of the movie. What's a recent film that had impressive special effects?
I thought Taj Dune had some stunning visuals. The sandworms were terrifying and believable.
Oh yeah, the scale of that film was incredible. It really shows how far we've come.
The impact of music on advertising. It's amazing how much a song can influence your perception of a product in an advertisement, isn't it?
Totally. A catchy tune can make you remember the ad, even if you don't remember what it was for. What's an ad jingle that stuck with you?
There are so many. I think the "I'm Lovin' It" McDonald's jingle is burned into my brain forever. It's so simple but effective.
That's a classic. Do you think advertisers are getting more creative with their music choices now?
Definitely. Using popular songs can instantly create an association with the brand. It's all about leveraging existing emotions.
Yeah, it can be a win-win for both the artist and the brand. More exposure for the music and a boost for the product.
True, but sometimes it can feel a bit cynical, like they're just exploiting our love of music to sell us something. The influence of genre bending in music.
I've been thinking about how a lot of artists are blending genres now. Do you think it's a good thing for music?
I think it's fantastic. It keeps things fresh and prevents stagnation. What are some examples that come to mind for you?
Well, take Lil Nas X. He's mixing country and hip-hop in a way that's completely new. It's catchy and interesting.
Exactly, and it opens up music to wider audiences. Do you think there are any downsides to genre bending?
Maybe if it's done poorly, it can feel forced or inauthentic. It has to feel natural.
I agree. The best genre bending comes from genuine experimentation and a desire to push boundaries. What other artists do you think are doing it well?
I think Billie Eilish blends pop with elements of electronica and even a bit of alternative rock really well. She has her own unique style.
The power of music in video games. I think the music in video games is often overlooked. It can really enhance the experience, don't you think?
Absolutely. A good soundtrack can make a game more immersive and emotionally impactful. What are some games with memorable soundtracks for you?
The Legend of Zelda series always has amazing music. The themes are so iconic. And what about something like Red Dead Redemption 2?
Oh man, that soundtrack is incredible. The atmospheric music really sets the tone for the game. It's almost like a Western movie score.
Exactly. Do you think video game composers are getting more recognition now?
I hope so. They're creating some truly amazing music. It's becoming more accepted as a legitimate art form.
Agreed. I'd love to see more video game soundtracks performed live in concert. That would be amazing.
The rise of interactive entertainment.
Have you noticed how much more interactive entertainment is becoming? It's not just video games anymore.
Yeah, like those choose-your-own-adventure style shows on Netflix, or even interactive concerts. It's pretty wild.
Exactly. Do you think this is the future of entertainment, or just a passing fad?
I think it's here to stay in some form. People like having a sense of control and agency. It makes the experience more engaging.
That makes sense. I wonder if it will change how stories are told. Will writers have to create multiple branching narratives?
Probably. It's a whole new skill set. What about the downsides? Do you think it could lead to less creative control from the artists?
That's a valid concern. Finding a balance between audience participation and artistic vision will be key. The staying power of one-hit wonders.
You know, it's funny how some songs just explode and then disappear. What's a one-hit wonder that still gets stuck in your head? Oh man, there are so many. I'd have to say Tainted Love by Soft Cell. It's such a classic. Good choice. It's instantly recognizable. I always wonder what happened to those artists. Did they just not want the fame? I think sometimes it's just hard to replicate that initial success. Or maybe they just moved on to other things. True. What makes a song a one-hit wonder, anyway? Is it just luck? Or is there a formula? I think it's a combination of factors. Catchy melody, timing, and maybe a bit of novelty. It's hard to predict. Definitely unpredictable. I'm thinking, Come On Eileen by Dexys Midnight Runners. Huge hit, but, right, a very specific sound. But they're cemented in music history forever.
Comparing album release strategies.
What do you think about artists releasing singles months before the full album drops?
It's a smart marketing move, builds anticipation, but it can also spoil the album experience.
True. I kind of miss the days of listening to an album from start to finish without knowing any of the songs beforehand.
Yeah, that element of surprise is lost. But on the other hand, it gives the artists more time to get their music heard.
I guess it's a trade-off. Some artists, like Beyoncé, still do surprise album drops. That's exciting.
Those are always fun. It creates a massive buzz, and everyone's talking about it.
Definitely. It's a good way to stand out in a saturated market.
Favorite fictional bands?
What's your favorite fictional band from a movie or TV show?
That's a fun question. I'd have to say Spinal Tap. They're hilarious.
Spinal Tap, a true classic. Their music is surprisingly catchy, too.
Totally. The movie is a masterpiece of mockumentary. What about you?
I always loved The Commitments. Their soul covers were fantastic.
Oh yeah. That movie had an amazing soundtrack. They really captured the energy of soul music.
It makes you wish they were a real band, touring and releasing albums.
Definitely. The best fictional bands make you believe they could actually exist.
Overrated versus underrated actors.
Who do you think is a consistently overrated actor? That's a dangerous question, but I think maybe someone like Actor's Name gets more praise than they deserve. Interesting. I can see that. Who do you think is underrated then? Definitely Actor's Name. They're incredibly talented, but don't get the recognition they deserve. I agree. They're amazing in everything they do. They have such range. Exactly. They can play any role convincingly. It's a shame they're not a bigger name. Hollywood can be so fickle. It's not always about talent. True. Sometimes it's about connections and luck.
The appeal of comfort movies.
What's your go-to comfort movie when you're feeling down?
Definitely Paddington 2. It's just so wholesome and heartwarming.
Paddington 2, I've heard good things. Mine is probably When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, that's a classic. A perfect rom-com. What makes it a comfort movie for you?
It's just so well written and funny, and the ending always makes me happy. It's like a warm hug.
I get that. Paddington 2 Feet is similar for me. It's visually stunning, and the story is just so optimistic.
Sometimes you just need something familiar and comforting, right?
Exactly. Something that will make you smile and forget about your troubles for a while.
The best new artist discovery.
Have you discovered any amazing new artists lately?
Actually, yes. I stumbled upon this indie band called Echo Bloom. They're fantastic.
Echo Bloom? Never heard of them. What kind of music do they play?
It's kind of dream pop with a touch of folk. Really atmospheric and beautiful.
Sounds interesting. I'm always looking for something new to listen to. Where did you find them?
They popped up on my Spotify Discover Weekly playlist. Algorithms can be surprisingly good sometimes.
I'll have to check them out. Thanks for the recommendation.
No problem. Let me know what you think.
The best TV show theme song of all time.
What do you think is the best TV show theme song ever?
That's a tough one, but I'd have to say The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's iconic.
Classic. Instantly recognizable and tells the whole story in a minute.
Exactly. Plus, it's just so catchy. I still find myself singing it sometimes.
I always liked the theme from Friends. Simple, but it perfectly captures the show's vibe.
I'll Be There For You is another great one. Very feel-good.
Theme songs used to be such a big part of TV. Now they're often just a few seconds long.
It's a shame. A good theme song can really set the tone and get you excited to watch. The best use of a song in a movie scene.
What's the best use of a song in a movie scene you can think of?
For me, it's gotta be Where Is My Mind by the Pixies, in the final scene of Fight Club.
Oh, that's a great one. The song perfectly complements the chaos and the feeling of liberation.
Exactly. It's such a powerful and iconic moment. It wouldn't be the same without that song.
I also love the use of Tiny Dancer in Almost Famous. The whole bus singing along is so heartwarming.
Yes, that scene is pure joy. It really captures the spirit of the movie.
Music can really elevate a scene and make it unforgettable.
Absolutely. It's like adding another layer of emotion and meaning. The most disappointing movie remake.
What's the most disappointing movie remake you've ever seen? Oh, that's easy. The remake of Psycho was just awful. Completely pointless. Ugh, I remember that. It was a shot-for-shot remake, but without any of the original's charm or suspense. Exactly. It just felt like a pale imitation. Why even bother? I was really disappointed with the Total Recall remake. It lost all the fun and quirkiness of the original. Yeah, that one was a letdown too. Some movies just shouldn't be remade. I agree. Sometimes it's better to leave the classics alone. Definitely. Focus on original stories instead.
The most memorable movie soundtrack.
What's the most memorable movie soundtrack that comes to mind?
For me, it has to be Guardians of the Galaxy. The awesome mix was just perfect.
Oh yeah! Such a great selection of classic rock songs. It really elevated the film.
Exactly, it wasn't just background music. It was integral to the story and the characters.
I also loved the soundtrack to Pulp Fiction. So eclectic and cool.
Good choice. Tarantino always has amazing soundtracks. They're almost characters in themselves.
Absolutely. A good soundtrack can make or break a movie, I think.
I agree. It's a powerful tool for creating atmosphere and emotion.
The rise of audio dramas.
Have you gotten into audio dramas at all? Yeah, I've listened to a few. It's like old-time radio plays, but with modern storytelling. Exactly. I love how they engage your imagination. You have to visualize everything yourself. Me too. It's a nice break from screens. What are some of your favorites? I really enjoyed Welcome to Night Vale. It's so weird and funny. Oh, I've heard of that one. I've been meaning to check it out. I liked Homecoming. I'll add that to my list. It's amazing how immersive they can be with just sound. Totally. The sound design is often incredible. It really creates the atmosphere.